I'm Snoop Dogg, and I'm giving up smoke. I know what you're thinking. Snoop, smoke is kind of your whole thing. But I'm done with it. I'm done with the coughing and my clothes smelling all funky. I'm going smokeless. Solo stove, fixed 5. They took out the smoke. Now you can have a nice blaze without any clouds ruining your day. Go smokeless. Go to solostove.com. Tell them Big Snoop Dogg sent you.
Have you or a loved one been injured in an accident? Are you struggling to recover fair compensation? Look no further. At Phillips Law Firm, the experienced personal injury attorneys will fight for your rights and get you the justice and compensation you deserve. They handle a wide range of cases, including car accidents, slip and falls, medical malpractice, and workplace injuries. Justice is a phone call away, so don't wait. Call today for a free case review. Call 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
Hey, it's Mike Hawk. Want more Men's Room content? Follow the Men's Room page of the Odyssey app and check out my live stream, A Moment with Mike Hawk and Nothing in Particular with Steve the Thrill Hill. Going live Thursdays and Fridays at 1, exclusively on the Men's Room page of the Odyssey app.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright. Or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to season 18, episode number 3,998. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and Mike Hawk. Montgomery! And you are the Men's Room. On tap today, the return of Who Sucks Less. We will play Profile This. Plus headlines, Men's Room Shot of the Day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorites. TV Time with Ted.
Click, clack, drink it and drunk.
All right, here we go. Pizza delivery man shows up at a home with 2 models, exposing their bacon hangers. Meanwhile, a man in Maine is arrested for the 12th time this year in downtown Bangor. College tuba player knocks out a rowdy fan in the stands. Man goes to buy a truck, but that's when a deer jumps and lands, and a Georgia man shoots a mortar at a helicopter. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, let's just get to it. A woman in Florida, she went snorkeling and had a very snorkeling in Florida experience when a 9-foot alligator bit her face. Now, the good news is that's all it did. The gator apparently couldn't get a good grip of her bony forehead, so it let go and swam away. Now, meanwhile, in Australia, a man was attacked by a 10.5-foot saltwater crocodile. Now, in his case, it latched onto the man's foot, dragged him into the water. But he managed to survive. You know why? Because he's Australian. So he bit the crocodile on the eyeball. And believe it or not, it let him go. Now, it's too bad that robots don't have eyes to bite. And I say this because in South Korea, a robotics company employee was inspecting a robot used to move boxes at a warehouse. The robotic arm that lifts boxes, grabbed the employee instead and slammed him into a conveyor belt and crushed his face and chest. Things did not end well. But hey, the horror, it doesn't stop there. Oh no, we go to India, where a woman's hair got trapped in a Ferris wheel. And the Ferris wheel kept spinning, lifted her 25 feet into the air before staff could finally stop the Ferris wheel, cut her hair, and get her back down to earth. Oh, and a man in Brazil got himself trapped in a traffic cone. Now, I know that's not scary, that's just stupid. But like people in the mouths of gators and the grip of robots and Ferris wheels, sometimes we find ourselves unexpectedly confined. And that's what we want to talk about today. Maybe you were trapped in your own car, Ryan Castle. Maybe you are trapped in an elevator, got your shoelace stuck in the escalator, or like these people, maybe you found yourself on the jaws of a gator. But today we want to know what part of you got grabbed, stuck, or trapped.
To be a part of the big show, call 206-803-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook, follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live, and send your emails to themensroom@KISW.com.
I'm Snoop Dogg, and I'm giving up smoke. I know what you're thinking. Snoop, smoke is kind of your whole thing. But I'm done with it. I'm done with the coughing and my clothes smelling all funky. I'm going smokeless. Solo stove, fix 5. They took out the smoke. Now you can have a nice blaze without any clouds ruining your day. Go smokeless. Go to solostove.com. Tell them Big Snoop Dogg sent you.
Are you dealing with a personal injury? Don't go it alone. Turn to the experienced team at Phillips Law Firm. Their attorneys have helped thousands of clients get the compensation they deserve. Call Phillips Law Firm now. Call 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
Lovers, your local lingerie and adult store has gifts of pleasure for partners who know it's nice to be naughty. Turn up the heat this holiday when you shop at any Lovers store. Let our knowledgeable team help you select the best pleasure presents and save 20% on your purchase with Lovers Afterglow rewards. Just mention Love 20 at one of our 18 Western Washington locations. Offer valid with free Lovers Afterglow rewards membership until December 31st. Some exclusions apply.
If you're a business owner, you know these sounds mean sales. And from the sound of it, your business is growing. Whether you're fulfilling orders from your home office or warehouse, Stamps.com helps you stress less about mailing and shipping and spend more time doing what you love most. Listening to ASMR. I mean, growing your business. But as you grow, so does the need for efficiency. Stamps.com simplifies your shipping and mailing process. Import orders from wherever you sell online. Find the lowest rates with the fastest delivery times. Instantly deliver tracking updates to your customers. And buy shipping and mailing supplies when you run low. Save time and money on mailing and shipping. Get started at Stamps.com today with code PROGRAM for a 4-week trial, free postage, and a digital scale.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Hold the Charles, away we go. Welcome to Season 18, Episode number 3,998. What a large and a charge program we have for you today. Guaranteed future repeat, only 2 shows away from Episode number 4,000. Get out of here. What a party that is going to be. This place is going to be insane. It's going to be absolutely one of the craziest shows you've ever heard in your life. So many surprise guests, I believe.
Not to mention it's on a Friday, so we can really throw down. It's one of those holidays that finally shows up on a Friday.
Right. Surprise. We're going to find out what those surprises are on Friday.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be a fun time. A big show, though, for you today. The exciting return of Who Sucks Less. Steve, you bring us 3 stories from the news each and every week. They all suck. I don't know how you find people doing bad things. Somehow you do, and you pit them up against each other. It's up to us to determine, out of the 3 stories, which one sucks the least. How are we looking this week?
You can probably wrap your head around this. A lot of times, major companies have to issue a very dumb statement saying, we don't actually teach our employees to make these decisions. We apologize. So we have 3 of those types of stories with companies you're very familiar with who have screwed up in unique ways.
Yep. All right. Who Sucks Less is on the way. As we do every Monday through Friday. Lucky you. More Men's Room exclusively on the Odyssey app. Join us for the Men's Room Happy Hour in episode number 492. Today we'll do some picks and find out how we did last week as far as the NFL season is concerned. I know what you're thinking. Why do you pick it on Wednesday? That's because we're on the air on Thursday when the Thursday night game starts. And who doesn't want to miss any of that Bears-Carolina Panther game?
Is it Bears-Panthers?
I'm pretty sure it is. Either way.
I don't think they flex Thursday.
we gotta make those picks tonight.
No, you're right. The one thing with the NFL, God, you're right, Ted. So Thursday night football, they make it a point that all 32 teams show up on Thursday night football. What you'll find they do a lot of times, though, is they don't try to waste your time with a good team taking on a bad team when they make the schedule. They knew the Bears in Carolina would suck, so they make it a point. Let's put 2 suck teams together, right? Let's get it out of the way.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really, honestly, how they do it.
Men's Room Happy Hour. If you don't have the Odyssey app, download it now. It's absolutely free. Search for the Men's Room. You're going to find everything there Men's Room related. I know you did a new Mega Cast today.
New The Podcast is out.
Okay. Greatest Story Never Told podcast, still there. Of course, we have a Men's Room radio
Yes,
channel
still.
where we get to curate our own radio station with some of our own favorite tunes. Check that bad boy out for an incredible variety of just about everything on the planet. What else do we have for you? Oh, the weekly Best Of podcast is there, too, if you just want a little condensed version of the Best Of from the week that was.
It's really fun. Go lives on Thursdays and Fridays.
That's right. That's right, at 1 o'clock. So all that and more on the Odyssey app. So we'll see you coming up for the Men's Room Happy Hour. And today our question, what part of you got grabbed, stuck, or trapped? And we'll start with this story. As passengers on a cruise ship were caught in a fierce storm in the Bay of Biscay on Saturday.
Where's the Bay of Biscay? Is that
It
off
is
of
off
Australia?
the coast of Spain, I believe.
Spain.
If I'm not mistaken.
I was so close.
It is in the Atlantic Ocean. If I'm...
Oh, it's real close.
Geography-wise, I am not the best, but I'm pretty sure it's in the
I
Atlantic.
thought it was in the Caribbean.
It might be in the Caribbean. That's what I said.
We
I have
all
no
agree
idea.
it's on planet Earth, right? Mm-hmm. We got that.
Oh, no. I think Miles is right. The Bay of Biscay, known in Spain as the Gulf of Biscay.
Oh, Gulf of Biscay. Yeah. So basically, they were so afraid, the passengers, they sent farewell messages to loved ones.
Damn.
CNN reports the Saga Cruise Spirit of Discovery ship cut short a 14-day cruise around the Canary Islands to return to England, trying to stay ahead of the bad weather. But it was hit by a storm off the west coast of France, which is notorious for rough weather. Around 100 passengers, 10% of the 1,000 people on board were injured when a safety system kicked in, causing the boat to suddenly lurch to the left and come to a stop. Passengers say the ship remained in that position for 15 terrifying hours.
Oh, God.
As the storm raged. The tone of the voice of the captain, you could tell he was physically scared, according to one passenger.
Everybody just relax, man.
Relax, man.
We'll be okay.
The crew was crying.
Come on, man. You can't.
We had many passengers in an awful state of fear. Other passengers says furniture went flying. The ship's dining room became a makeshift medical area. Most of the injuries were minor, but 5 seriously injured people were hospitalized when the ship made it to Portsmouth on Monday. Passengers praised the crew for their handling of the emergency, but slammed the cruise line for the decision to rush from the Canaries into the storm. One person pointed out that the tracking app showed there was no other passenger vessels in that area at all during the storm.
Well, because there's a storm.
Yes. They say that decisions were made on bad advice from the ship's master and forecast from our marine meteorologist. A 68-year-old passenger from England was also injured when the ship lurched. He's bruised and sore and still wobbly. And I guess when the ship listed, it listed worse than it normally did, or supposed to in this instance. The cruise company, they said, behaved disgracefully, according to a passenger. Frankly, I don't give a flying fig about compensation.
Did he actually say fig?
She did.
Nice.
I just want Saga to own the fact that they made the most appalling decisions possible. Well, they were trapped on that for 15 hours in the storm, and it wasn't moving, so they were trapped. Ryan Castle, speaking of water and being on a boat.
Yeah.
You
are almost doing it.
Exactly. You were trapped. Just a week ago, right?
I think you guys appreciate the story for 2 reasons. One, it's bad for me.
Yes.
And 2, I come out of it looking like a total idiot.
Both of those things together.
Both of those things for you guys. I mean, that is a win-win for this room and for a lot of people listening. So we were on is it Guemes Island? It's like right off of Anacortes. Guemes, yeah. I think
you sound like Mike Tyson trying to say Grimace.
Right.
Who's your favorite McDonald's character? Grimace.
Yeah. So my wife and I went out there for the weekend, and it was a Monday last week. We were on our way back, and they have one of those little teeny tiny ferries, right? It's not the regular ferry. It's a little teeny tiny ferry that holds, 15 cars or something, right? You don't even get out of your car. And the boat ride is maybe 5 minutes. I mean, it's real close. Okay. So we're sitting in line for the ferry Monday morning. We're trying to get the 8:30 ferry. We are the second to last car that doesn't make it on the boat. Okay, fine, right? So we're sitting there. We got to wait another half hour for the next boat. So turn off the car. Keep in mind, nearly brand new car. Like it has less than 5,000 miles on it. If something you should know about brand new cars, a lot of technology.
Yes, they do.
A lot of stuff going on in there. So I turn off the car and I open my laptop and I turn on the radio. I'm sitting listening to BJ and Miggs. I got my laptop out, getting some work done. Not 10 minutes passes, and all of a sudden, my car starts to have a conniption fit. Like, it freaks the F out. Like, stuff starts turning on and off. I start getting weird notifications on the display, like parking brake unavailable. What does that even mean? Right? Like, there isn't even a parking brake on this car that I knew about, right?
I just found mine because Ted told me I had one.
Oh,
probably about a year ago. And I looked at my car, I was like, I'll be damned, I got one.
Miles and I have the same car. Mine's just like 6 years newer.
Yeah.
So you'll have to tell me about my parking brake later.
Right. I got you.
And then all of a sudden, like, almost everything shuts off and the doors start locking and unlocking. So, like, all 4 doors are going click, 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 click. Like, what is going on with this car? And then, like, almost everything shuts off except for a couple of things. And then the doors keep doing the locking thing.
Right.
And so, naturally, I kind of freak out and I can't get out of the car.
So you're not trapped in your own vehicle.
I am trapped in the car because the door handle is not a handle, it's a button. It's a little electric button. And that was one of the things that stopped working on the car. So now we are trapped in the car.
Are you on the boat yet?
No, we're still second to last in line. So the boat shows up. I managed to get the window down. That's one of the things that worked, but it rolled down like this, like click, 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 click. It's so bizarre. And so I managed to wave people past. We're trapped inside the car. Like, I'm thinking maybe I'm just going to have to climb out the window.
And you're in it with your wife, right?
Yes.
And 2 dogs.
And two dogs.
Are you blocking the entrance for the cars trying to get on the ferry?
No, so I managed to wave people by. It wasn't that bad. But we missed that boat. And finally, so I get on the phone with the dealership, and I'm like, my car is having an absolute meltdown. I can't even get out of the car. The guy's like, oh, God.
Sounds to me like you're going to die in there.
Yeah, that sounds... Good luck. That sounds tough. All right, cool. See ya. No, so he goes, what were you doing when the car started to have its meltdown? I said, I was just sitting here working. We're in line for the ferry. He was like, hang on a second. I think I know what's going on. He puts me on hold. He comes back like 2 minutes later. Tells me how to get out of my car, which I can do. Apparently, that push button handle also pulls out and has a manual handle to it. Oh, had no idea. Learned something new about the car. Not trapped in the car anymore. He goes, dude, your battery's dead. You need to jump. Oh,
that's a little.
Oh, that? What?
But you can't get out of your car.
It never would have occurred to me that the battery had died because, first of all, this car has like an 800-pound battery in it, first of all. And second of all, we weren't sitting there for very long. Third of all, some stuff was still on, just not all of the stuff, and you couldn't turn the car on. But turns out these cars have like the batteries that run the accessories when the engine isn't on. It's like this teeny tiny thing. He's like, oh yeah, dude, if you sit and listen to the radio for 10, 15 minutes in that car, you'll drain the battery.
You've got to be kidding.
That's something you should. What? That's something you should definitely tell people when they buy these cars. Like, hey, just a heads up, if you're sitting in line for the ferry, don't listen to the radio. You know what I mean?
I'll be damned.
So, and then you can't just jump the car because, there's no like car battery, no terminals.
Right.
So he had to like walk me through how to jump the car. You got to open the fuse box under the hood, and there's like this little tiny dock, and you pull a piece of plastic off, and there's like a little tiny metal piece that sticks out, and then you clip. So that's the positive, and you clip the negative onto the body of the car, and you can actually jump it. Yeah.
So you ended up getting a jump.
Ended up getting a jump, and
from yourself.
But it was 45 minutes of pure pandemonium.
And then
is it all like electric?
I don't know.
So when you get on
my car, no, it's a plug-in hybrid. So it's got a gas motor too, but I couldn't even get that to turn on.
Jesus Christ!
Because the battery was dead. not the battery that runs the electric motor, but the battery that turns on the gas motor. It was just.
So you get a jump and you drive onto the ferry finally, right?
Yeah.
Now, are you worried when you turn off the car?
Yes.
That you're going to be sitting right there,
especially on a
and
boat,
it won't fire up
on
again?
a boat that size, because I would block people. Everyone would be trapped on the boat at that point. Because guess what? I'm first in line now, so I would have been in front of everyone on the boat. Yeah. Pandemonium.
What kind of car is it? That's a question we're getting on the text line.
It is a 2023 Lexus NX 450H Plus.
Jesus Christ, that's a lot to say.
It's a big mouth. Yeah, so it's a plug-in hybrid. It gets 40 miles on a charge, and then it's a regular hybrid after that. Right. So you sort of get the best of both worlds. So for me, my commute's short. Like, I never have to put gas in the thing unless I go to Guemes Island and then let it die sitting at the ferry dock.
Jeez,
yeah. Good times. Good times.
But now you understand your car better.
You know what? You learn things, and sometimes you learn them the hard way.
Have you looked at your instruction manual since then?
Oh, it's
no, but I did buy I did buy a battery jumper. That day, we put it in our checkout on Amazon before we even got on the boat. It was in the back of the car and charged by the end of the day.
Damn. All right.
Also,
because this will happen again.
And the
guaranteed.
pressure of the ferry line.
Oh yeah,
it's just. I've been in a car that's stalled out, and you feel like a jackass.
So the
everybody
dude at the
wants to
Lexus,
hurt you.
Yeah.
the dude at the Lexus dealership, he was like, "Look, the reason I know this is because the last time this happened to somebody, they were on the Kingston Edmonds ferry, and the guy rode it back and forth 9 times before we figured out what was going on."
9 times?
Yeah, that's a 45-minute ferry.
Yeah.
But he was on that boat for a long
But
time.
he was trapped in his car on
No,
the
so
ferry.
he managed to
did
get out of the car. Yeah, because he's smarter than me, apparently. But they couldn't figure out what was up with the car, so he rode it back and forth 9 times.
I bet he ate dinner there. I bet he ate breakfast.
I wonder if they charge you for the trip back and forth each time.
Right?
They probably do.
I was trapped in my car. He was trapped on the boat.
Damn, that is a good question. Does the ferry keep charging you? Like, dude, I can't move my car.
because once you're on there, they just assume you get off.
Right.
They assume you do, but
There's
clearly...
no backup plan.
You
Right.
had it.
But they don't know that.
Yes, they do.
They might know there's a stalled vehicle on the car, but they're not going to come and beat you down
The
for
person from the ticket office gets on the boat, like, "Hey, you owe us another $35.
Right, because you're going back.
Oh, you again? That's another $35.
You're like eating dinner upstairs now.
Yeah.
Bag of chips and some boat meat.
You got some boat meat? Yeah.
Golly.
So there you
Good
go.
times.
Trapped in the car.
Good
All right.
times. You live and you learn. Now you know.
I don't think I've ever been trapped in a car.
No,
Trying to think.
I mean, I felt like it when I was a kid on long distance drives.
Right, but I'm trying...
I half the time, you know where I feel trapped more than anywhere? When you go out on somebody's boat. And I know that's not really relevant to the question, but I'm telling you what, man, that is the worst thing in the world because once you're out there, you are out there.
And that's it.
It's like going to the boom at Seafair. Once you get out there, man, just know you're probably not going to get back for a while. Even if you have an emergency, whatever the deal is.
Yeah, if you're out there on log boom, you're committed to the whole day.
You're there.
That is the thing, right?
Mm-hmm. I remember going down on people's sailboats. Like, how long have we been out here? Like, 3-4 hours. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
Like, can we please go back?
Really? 3 or 4 hours? Okay.
3 or 4 is not that bad for a boat.
Well, he said it was just going to be a little afternoon stroll around the Puget Sound. He made it seem like just a couple hours out there, and we'll be back, and then we get on the other side, and basically the wind.
3 or 4 is fine.
The wind
You're
stopped.
talking about the log boom and stuff. You're talking about being
that's a
out
whole
there.
day.
Right, you're talking 8 hours.
Right, at least.
Because I've done it, and you're right. By the end of it, like, it was a friend of a friend. They had a ridiculous boat, yacht, or whatever. Like the owner, I was like, "Can I take a nap?" He's like, "What? Like, is there a spot on here to take a nap, man? I've been drinking in the sun for 8 hours."
Yeah.
Like, I'm tired.
We got to cross the sound, and the wind stopped. So that was part of the problem. We would have been back.
Right.
But we're just sitting there. And we're just watching these huge-ass cruise ships go by, which are amazingly big when you're on the water.
They're very,
and you
very
see
large.
how big they are.
Yeah.
It's like, wow. And we really couldn't move out of the way. He had a little controller, like,
Oh, the little
just
engine.
to try to get us out of the way, but it looked like they were coming right at us. I'm like, oh, we're going to die, man. It was a big Disney, like Mickey Mouse is just going to come and kill us.
Right.
What part of you got grabbed, stuck, or trapped? 206-803-ROB.
Selling a little or a lot? Shopify helps you do your thing, however you cha-ching. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage, to the first real-life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit 1 million orders stage. Shopify's here to help you grow. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell everywhere. From their all-in-one e-commerce platform to their in-person POS system, wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got you covered. Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers with the internet's best converting checkout. 15% better on average compared to other leading commerce platforms. And sell more with less effort thanks to Shopify Magic, your AI-powered all-star. Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the US. And Shopify is the global force behind Allbirds, Rothy's, and Brooklinen, and millions of other entrepreneurs of every size across 175 countries. Plus, Shopify's award-winning 24/7 help is there to support your success every step of the way. Because businesses that grow with Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Odyssey Podcast, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Odyssey Podcast now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/Odyssey Podcast.
From the very beginning, your kids mean everything to you. That means you do anything for them, especially if they're at risk. So when it comes to type 1 diabetes, screen it like you mean it. Because even if just one person in the family has it, your child is up to 15 times more likely to get it, too. Screen it like you mean it. Because type 1 diabetes can develop at any age. And once you get results, you can get prepared for your child's future. So screen it like you mean it. Type 1 starts long before there are symptoms. But one blood test could help you spot it early, before they need insulin, and could lower the risk of serious complications like diabetic ketoacidosis or DKA. Talk to your doctor about how to screen for type 1 diabetes. Because the more you know, the more you can do. So don't wait. Tap now or visit screenfortype1.com to learn more. Again, that's screenfortype1.com. Screen it like you mean it.
Felix, the only pet insurance plan just for cats, with plans starting at under $1 per day and as unique as your cat. You'll love them, and you can't imagine living without them. And as each and every one of your fur babies rubs against your leg, go ahead and tell them the exciting news. Felix Cat Insurance offers whisker-to-tail protection, the kind of protection that you both, or should we say all, deserve. Whether you've got an indoor cat, an outdoor cat, or they're a little of both, Felix Cat Insurance has you covered. Our curated cat insurance plans were designed to meet the special needs of your feline family members. Accidents, illnesses, cancer, diabetes, emergency care, alternative therapies, hereditary conditions, exam fees, and much more. Customizable coverage exclusively for felines. Sorry, no dogs allowed. FelixCatInsurance.com. Get it? Meow. Insurance is underwritten by Independence American Insurance Company and produced by Independence Pet Group. Pre-existing conditions are not covered. For all terms and limitations, visit FelixCatInsurance.com/terms.
Deep underground, the Jelly Belly factory, Bibi is in her secret laboratory creating the weird and wild flavors of Bean Boozled.
I've done it again!
Is it pomegranate or old bandage? Dare to compare. Bean Boozled, 6th edition. Are you brave enough? 99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
There's a place you know to be stuck. A cattle farmer named Colin Devereaux has been recovering for the past month after being attacked by a 10-foot saltwater crocodile in Australia's Northern Territory. Mm-hmm. He's fortunate to be alive. He was attacked while fixing a fence near the Finnis River. Incident occurred when he stopped to observe a fish out of water. A billabong is a branch of a river made by flooding. He noticed a fish was struggling in the middle of the billabong, so he got out to investigate. It was at that point that the crocodile attacked his ass. Estimated to be 2.5 feet, quite a formidable predator, they say. The water had receded. It was down in this dirty water in the middle of a puddle. I took 2 steps and the dirty bastard latched onto my right foot. He went on to describe the crocodile attack, telling ABC it was a big grab, and he shook me like a rag doll and took off back into the water, pulling me in. I jerked back on his eyelid. Speaking with a news outlet from the hospital, he explained how biting the crocodile in its eye stopped the attack.
Yeah, I bet it did.
I was in an awkward position, but by accident, my teeth caught his eyelid. It was pretty thick, like holding on to leather. But I jerked back on his eyelid, and he let go. I then leapt away and took off with great steps up to where my car was. The crocodile chased him for another 15 feet up to his car.
Oh, God.
So once he got to his vehicle...
You bit my eye, bitch!
He was able to use a towel and rope to create a makeshift tourniquet to stop the bleeding. Now, he did survive the bite during the attack. That was just step one. His brother then had to drive him over 80 miles to the nearest hospital. Once there, now you have to worry about a few things. The bacteria from the crocodile's mouth had already gotten into his wounds and made it nasty. Devereaux told the news station the bacteria then became the most pressing concern of keeping him alive.
Yeah.
He said the biggest problem was having to clear out all of the bad bacteria from the wound. So the billabong water full of mud, goose S, duck S, and crocodile teeth marks. He went on to say the wound had to be opened for 10 days in the hospital just to continue to flush it out to ensure that the bacteria was getting cleaned out. After that, then they did a skin graft, and he began feeling his toes once again.
You know, I don't know. I've never been attacked by a saltwater crocodile, and all things being equal, I would like to keep it that way. I'm just wondering, through all of that, what do you think a crocodile eyelid tastes like?
I'm telling you, man.
In the moment, you're doing what you're doing because you're trying to survive. I get it. But at some point, you're like, bro, I know my brother's driving me to the hospital. Like, tell me you have a breath mint. Like, I cannot explain to you what a crocodile
your dad-
eyelid tastes like in my mouth.
Your dad's theory involves fire. Now, at this point, I've already been pulled underwater, so even though if I have a lighter in my pocket, it's not going to do me any good.
He's not going lighter. He goes flame.
So I'm going to go. I'm going back to my original technique of I'm going for the eyeballs.
If you don't have fire, yeah, I'd recommend going for the eyes.
Yeah, on any animal. I mean,
sure.
And I know sharks have a covering too that they bring down so that they do not get injured by.
But most things they grab
predators.
do not have arms and fists.
So you got to just stick your finger in there, man. Start digging it out. That would be my technique.
I agree 1,000%.
What part of you got grabbed, stuck, or trapped? 206-803-ROCK.
I'd grip his head and use my thumbs.
I think I just use whatever's available.
I mean, you're probably right, but in my head.
Oh, in your head, you're always
gripping his
cooler.
head and I'm
Like
using
in my
thumbs.
mind, being attacked by a saltwater crocodile, and there's 100 witnesses, I look so cool when I do this thing and thumb its eyeballs. The truth is, I look like a bitch and I'm screaming.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Correct.
No doubt
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Oh, I'd be panicked.
You should be. Ted, it's a good time to panic.
I'm just trying to catch my breath, calm, relax.
What did we talk about, Ted?
I'm being attacked by a saltwater croc.
In, out.
Right.
You don't think rationally when you panic.
Are you hungry?
Hello, Jason. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
So I had an injury in my neck. I woke up one morning and my right arm had curled in and my fingers were pointed down towards my chest.
Wait a minute. So your arm.
I couldn't move.
Is that like a
I
stroke?
lost control of my arm because I had a disc between C3 and C4. It had herniated and then it slipped and it was laying on the nerve that controlled my arm.
Oh, man.
So I got up in the morning and I just bought a bunch of brand new tools that night. So I got up in the morning all excited to open them with my daughter because she was over for the weekend. And I couldn't use my arm. And my brother and one of my buddies were over and they're like, dude, you need to go to the hospital. I'm like, nah, it's just cramped out. It'll be fine.
Wait, how long had it been like this when you're saying it's just cramped out?
I went to bed that night and I was eating dinner just fine. And I woke up. It had done it in my sleep. I woke up and I couldn't move my arm.
That's a weird feeling.
It's a really weird feeling. And one of my buddy was over brought up, he goes, you might have had a stroke, bro. So I was like, okay, well, that's not cool. So I went into the hospital and the doctor or the nurse in triage saw my arm and I told her what was going on. They immediately threw me in a wheelchair and wheeled me through the doors in front of everybody. And I was like, what's going on? They're like, you're in stroke protocol right now. You may be experiencing a stroke or you may have just recently had one, but we need to get you in and get CTs and MRIs done because we need to see how much damage has been done because we can reverse it or stop it right now.
All right.
So that set me for a loop. I'm like, stroke protocol, I'm 35 years old. This is 5 years ago. I was like, I'm 35 years old. I didn't have a stroke. So I'm in the hospital, 3 CTs, 2 MRIs. 5 hours later, they finally come in and they go, okay, you didn't have a stroke. I was like, well, that's good news. What happened? And they explained to me that the disc had herniated and it slipped out of between the vertebrae and was laying on the nerve and it was impeding it. And that's why I lost complete control of my arm. I was paralyzed.
Damn.
So how quickly were you put into surgery?
I wasn't. Here's the thing is they had neurosurgeons on the phone calling in. They were going to transport me. And they were going to put me under the knife within a couple hours.
And are you freaking out at this point?
Oh, yeah, I was freaking out bad because I got my daughter at my house. Well, I had to call her mom, which my ex. I had to call her mom. She came and picked her up, brought her to the hospital, and then she called one of my best friends to come in and so they could sit with me. And I'm like, I'm going to have to go get neck surgery. And because all the doctors are like, yeah, you're going in under the knife emergency surgery right now. Because if we don't get the pressure off this nerve, you could be paralyzed and locked out that way for the rest of your life.
Jesus.
So this gal that ran a physical therapy clinic, she overheard what was going on. And she came in and checked my neck out. And she goes, it's not that pressing. Give me a few days with him and see if we can get any kind of sensation back in his arm. Let's try not to put him under the knife. So I went in that night for a physical therapy session with her. And then I went in the next morning and then went home and rested, went back that night. And within 3 days, I got movement in my fingers. So she's like, okay, well, I think I can get you back to normal, but it's going to take some extensive physical therapy. So I went through 4 months of extensive physical therapy until I started getting mobility back in my arm.
I bet that's cheap.
But yeah, real cheap. But I didn't have to go to the knife, which was good. And I'm back to 100% now. But they had me on some really heavy anti-inflammatories and steroids, and then just extensive physical therapy. But I'm back at 100 now, 5 years later. So
I'm going to assume that you had to miss 4 months of work with this.
Oh, yeah, I was out for 5 months.
Right. Unless you're a pimp. If you're a pimp, then that's a good look for you as you stroll down the street. But yeah, otherwise...
I can just hold the cane up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. Be that guy.
But no, I was 5 months out of work before I got cleared for light duty, and I build custom homes, so there's really no light duty in that. But
I say you had bought tools, the night before, so I'm figuring you don't do a job that's light duty.
Right, yeah. But I think the funniest part of it is I'm locked out, and I'm trying to get myself dressed. My brother's helping me get a new clean shirt on and buckle my belt for me. And my daughter was 6 at the time, 7. She's walking around the house with her right arm curled in, going, "Everyone fears the T-Rex."
Oh, jeez.
All right, I mean,
just old enough to innocently insult you.
How much weight did you gain on those steroids?
I think I put on like 17 pounds.
Yeah, that's pretty. And you have a hard time pooping with that stuff too.
Yeah, it really locks you out. But luckily, I was going to go home and just recuperate and go to physical therapy from my house. But my friend that was there, she's like, "No, you're coming and staying with me, and I'm going to take you to physical therapy appointments. Make sure that you do your exercises. I'm cooking for you. I'm going to make sure that you're taken care of." So
now, you right-handed or left-handed?
I'm ambidextrous, which is actually a plus.
Wow. Okay, nice. Because I was going to ask about wiping your ass, which always sounds stupid until you're in a position where you have to use your non-dominant hand to wipe your ass. It is an unbelievably difficult thing to do thoroughly, I guess is the best way to put it.
You end up making more of a mess.
You do, man, because I'm left-handed, but I busted up my wrist a couple of years ago, and I didn't give it much thought. I'm like, let's put slip-on shoes, blah, blah, blah. First time I took a dump and had to wipe my ass, I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, I had to sit there for 5 minutes to figure out how to pull this off, and you just want to clean ass.
The hardest part was showering.
Yeah, all of that.
But luckily, my friend, she's like, "I got you." So she was helping me get undressed, get in the shower. She's helping me get clean.
Now, was she that kind of friend, or did you guys just have to get over the fact that a plutonic friend is going to be seeing you naked plenty?
Really long-term friend, and smoking hot.
You're not really answering the question.
No. Yeah. She probably used like a washcloth, right, just to make sure she didn't have to touch anything.
She didn't. She didn't pay no never mind to it. It was reciprocated because she went through emergency surgery because her appendix ruptured, and this was about a year prior, and I was going over there and doing work on her house, just helping maintain it because she's a single mom. Really, like I said, really long-term friend, really good friend. And I had to help her in and out of the shower and the bath. And it was just like, you know what? We're adults. This is no big deal.
Yeah, but also you said she's smoking hot. See, there's a difference. If she thinks you're smoking hot, that's one thing. If she's just like, no, this is just my buddy, I don't find him attractive. If she has to see your wet naked ass. You, on the other hand, are like, I'm here to help, baby. I mean, you look fantastic.
Here's the problem: it's like, okay, she'd wash my back for me and everything, and then turn around and she'd work down for my shoulders, and as soon as she'd hit my ribs, it would just go from 6 to midnight.
Yeah, I mean, that's the problem. Like, I'm so sorry, I have another erection. I can't.
Oh no, I apologized the first time. She goes, "You have absolutely nothing to be sorry about."
Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby.
All right.
And you're nicer than me.
Hey, one question about your arm, man. So you could not physically move your arm or finger.
My penis is so dirty.
But if someone else grabbed your arm, could they move it for you, or was it just locked in place?
They could move it a little bit. They could straighten it about 45% straight, and then it would spring back because the nerve had locked out the muscles in that position.
Oh, damn!
So you could stretch them out, but it would pull back immediately.
So did it just kind of snap back into place, or what ultimately was? I know you're doing physical therapy, but these are bones. So how does that get off the nerve? How does that work?
It was the disc. It wasn't the vertebrae.
The disc. Okay.
Yeah. So it was the anti-inflammatories and the steroids, and it was massive neck therapy and arm therapy. And what it was doing is it was allowing that thing to shrink back down and just my body naturally massage it back into place and take the pressure off that nerve. And the more pressure was coming off that nerve, the more I was getting mobility out of my arm.
Okay. All right. Jason, before we let you go, people are disappointed and disgusted with me because I did not ask you the question that I should have asked you was, which hand did you masturbate with and how successful were you?
He's ambidextrous.
I know he's ambidextrous, but you said it was still hard to wipe your ass.
And he had a very good friend.
It wasn't my hand.
Have you ever...
I feel like you're just dancing around this. So
what did you do? Rub your body up and down on a door jam? I mean...
It had to be that girl helping.
There was a couple that would come and help.
All right. All right. You know what? Based on this story alone, I'm going to lock my arm into place.
Don't you worry.
I just can't move my arm, ladies.
There is other ways to do it on your own. I had a buddy that spent a little time in prison, and he said he got good at just rubbing his thighs together in a certain way and tucking.
All right.
I feel like that almost be more obvious.
I don't want to tuck
if I'm
in
in the
prison.
jail cell across from you, right? Like, Ted, I know what you're doing, man. Just break it out, turn your back to me, and handle your business. I'm
always impressed. I mean, I already like the guy, but like when he tells me that, I'm like, damn.
Did he teach you the methodology, or is it just something he figured out?
He figured it out, but I mean, he had to spend, he got a lot of free time.
I know, but I feel like if I learned that trick right in jail, and I have a kid who's going to be a teen soon, like, listen, boy, I'm going to give it to you straight. You're going to have an erection for like 6 solid years of your life, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's called teen years, and you're going to sit in class, and this erection's going to show up. I learned from Ted's friend. If you just rub your thighs together while you're sitting there in class, you can alleviate some of that tension and no one will notice.
Life truly finds a way.
It does.
Oh, yeah.
I would say, like, if I lost both of my arms.
Finds a way.
Because masturbation to me is so important. It's so fun. It's such an awesome thing to do. Like, all right, babe, listen, let's buy some carpeting, but we got to put it vertically on the wall. Look, man, like, sorry. This is, like I said, it's either that or slide down the stairs in a forward position.
What part of you got grabbed, stuck, or trapped? 206-803-ROCK.
Why do you live in an 8-story house? I just
make sure you get the shag carpet.
Yeah, it has to be shag carpet. Just kind of bounce up and down a little bit, That's my philosophy. Hello, Willie. Welcome to the men's room.
Liquor and whores.
Liquor and whores.
How you doing, boys?
Doing great, man. Thank you.
All right. So this just recently happened to me and a friend of mine, a female friend of mine. We went to England, to London.
And now governor.
Pardon me?
And now governor. That's the first thing you should scream when you go to England. They love it.
Yeah. What's this all about then?
Tuesday.
So
come
yeah,
off it, you old hag. Don't yell any of this if you go to London.
Just don't.
Just be nice and say hello.
Skinless bangers.
Oh, football's the real football. All right, so you're in London.
We spent some time in Ireland, but our last night in London, as we were about to come home, we had rented a car for the day. We were staying in Whitechapel, the Halloween tour of the Jack the Ripper tour. Anyway, and our car rental place was literally right around the corner from where we were staying at. So when we got back into town, it was like 7:30 at night. Of course, the rental place is closed. We leave the car right in front, across the street, right in front of the rental car place, and took photographs of the car just to make sure some damage could happen to the car overnight because we weren't inside of the Enterprise rental car. So went to dinner, went to back to our place, had to get up early in the morning to catch our flight back to the States, back to Portland. Walk around the corner in the morning, 7:30 in the morning, and there's a police car in front of the rental car. And my first thought was, did I park illegally? Am I getting a parking ticket or whatever? I go into the rental place. A fella comes out with the key to inspect the vehicle. Officer gets out of the car, or they're called constable. The constable gets out of the car and informs me that the car had been involved in a crime. And he needs to ask, the whole story. When did you get here? When are you leaving? When did you drop the car off? Just all the rigmarole. Told him the whole story. We had dinner over here. We dropped the car off here. I took pictures. Oh, can we see the pictures? Absolutely. Show him all the pictures. He keeps us there for 2 hours waiting for the detective, because only the detective can really finalize this. But he tells me that, I said, well, the first thing I said was, well, what about the CCTV? You got cameras all over the place. Because he said that the car was involved in a crime. A woman had been spiked or drugged, and this car was somehow involved. And that's all he would really tell me at that point. And I said, what about the CCTV? Oh, the CCTVs, that's the thing about those things. The resolution is so low, they're really kind of useless. and they're just for looks. And
you should have said, thank God.
So, long story short, try to cut it short, he says that a woman had been drugged, and she had come to the police station early in the morning with photographs of this car with no memory of what had happened the night before. She had just woken up in the back seat of that car.
Oh. That's a little heavy.
So I had, it appears that I had not locked the doors with the little fob, the button on the fob. I had gotten out of the car and walked away and not locked it.
And so it happened overnight.
Yeah. After we dropped off the car, somewhere in the middle of the night, between that and 5 a.m. or whatever, this had happened. So that's what they finally tell me. They're not forthcoming until they know that we're probably not involved in this. And then he tells me, yeah, a woman was drugged. She was running through the streets looking to hide or escape this assailant, is what they called him. And she opened up the car door, dove in as a place to hide out.
Okay.
Shut the door and hid.
That's Jesus, man.
That's a lot.
That is a weird thing.
Oh, yeah, we're going to go to Europe. It'll be fun. What part of you got grabbed, stuck, or trapped? 206-803-ROCK.
I'm Snoop Dogg, and I'm giving up smoke. I know what you're thinking. Snoop, smoke is kind of your whole thing. But I'm done with it. I'm done with the coughing and my clothes smelling all funky. I'm going smokeless. Solo stove, fix 5. They took out the smoke. Now you can have a nice blaze without any clouds ruining your day. Go smokeless. Go to solostove.com. Tell them Big Snoop Dogg sent you.
Dealing with an accident and injury claim can be overwhelming. Let Phillips Law Firm fight for you. We understand the pain and suffering, and we're here to guide you through. Call 1-800-JUSTICE today for a free case review, or visit justiceforyou.com and let Phillips Law Firm help you on the road to recovery.
Lovers, your local lingerie and adult store has gifts of pleasure for partners who know it's nice to be naughty. Turn up the heat this holiday when you shop at any Lovers store. Let our knowledgeable team help you select the best pleasure presents and save 20% on your purchase with Lovers Afterglow rewards. Just mention Love 20 at one of our 18 Western Washington locations. Offer valid with free Lovers Afterglow rewards membership until December 31st. Some exclusions apply.
Deep underground, the Jelly Belly factory, Bibi is in her secret laboratory creating the weird and wild flavors of Bean Boozled.
I started again.
Is it pomegranate or old bandage? Dare to compare. Bean Boozled, 6th edition. Are you brave enough?
I'm Snoop Dogg, and I'm giving up smoke. I know what you're thinking. Snoop, smoke is kind of your whole thing. But I'm done with it. I'm done with the coughing and my clothes smelling all funky. I'm going smokeless. Solo stove, fix 5. They took out the smoke. Now you can have a nice blaze without any clouds ruining your day. Go smokeless. Go to solostove.com. Tell them Big Snoop Dogg sent you.
Have you or a loved one been injured in an accident? Are you struggling to recover fair compensation? Look no further. At Phillips Law Firm, the experienced personal injury attorneys will fight for your rights and get you the justice and compensation you deserve. They handle a wide range of cases, including car accidents, slip and falls, medical malpractice, and workplace injuries. Justice is a phone call away, so don't wait. Call today for a free case review. Call 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
99.9 KISW. We return to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
Our question, what part of you got grabbed, stuck, or trapped? Ironically enough, we were talking to our buddy Matt. He does mornings over at The Wolf.
Yeah.
Now, he is originally from Phoenix, Arizona.
All right.
So the question is, all right, how hot is it really there in the summertime? He said this year alone, they had about 40 days of heat that was over 110 degrees, if not hot.
Yeah.
You can't, and I said, can you leave the house if you're living there? You cannot leave the house. Everyone's trapped inside. It's like, well, what if you had a pool? Water's too hot if you had a pool here.
He had a very explicit way of describing that, but yeah, he's like, the pool's not worth getting
I cannot
into,
imagine
man.
being trapped in your house for about a month or a month and a half just because it's so hot you can't leave.
And he pointed out he was there with two little kids. They couldn't go outside. And the way they do their school system there, I think it's 9 weeks on, 6 weeks off. Right? So I want to say during the 9 weeks that they should have been on, most of those weeks they were off. So he's like, dude, it was awful. That you are trapped in your house for 40 days.
I would go absolutely nuts.
Yes.
What part of you got grabbed, stuck, or trapped? 206-803 right.
I mean, it's like snowstorms, right? Like Seattle doesn't get too many like real bad ones.
Sure.
But like even the last year we were in Baltimore, remember it snowed like 2 feet. Like that storm was a bitch.
And it sucked.
Right. And like the first couple days, you're like, ooh, snow day. And you get to like that third day and you're like, all right, I need to
over
get
this.
out. Yeah, and like where we lived in Charles Village, like none of the trucks came through. So like I remember going to the grocery store and we were legit getting kind of nervous. Like
I think almost an ice storm is worse because you also have the possibility of your power going out. Like if a tree limb falls on it or something like that.
You're right. The ice storm last year, that was December 23rd.
I thought I was going to die just walking down the street to pick up stuff that I needed.
Oh, I didn't leave my house. And my buddy did. He slipped and kind of slid down the street on his back a little bit. And I think an older woman laughed at him. And I was laughing at it because he came back in. Like, I told you not to leave. It's a sheet of ice.
It is. My problem was I had my freaking dog. Like, look, I would not have gone outside, but it's like, oh, my God. Like, you have to go out. I get it, man. But got the stairs in front of my house. They weren't too bad because they're covered. But as soon as I hit the driveway, there's a little slope. I mean, instantly, I'm on my ass. And even though it's maybe a 3-degree angle to go down, you slide all the way down to the street.
And I had salt.
There's nothing I can do.
I had an old bag of salt that I'd had for a couple of years in my garage. The last time that was nice.
Did it do anything?
No. They didn't even cut through it. I mean, it was just like, ha, right.
I mean, the only
ice was like an inch and a half thick.
Right. The only thing we were lucky with was, remember, around 7 or 8 p.m., it warmed up above freezing and started raining. So it got rid of it. Then you had some cool flooding. But you're right. Ice storms are impossible. I remember living in Maryland once, and we got like that sleet kind of ice storm. The wintry mix is what they would call it.
Right.
In my street, like it wasn't a big hill, it's Maryland, but there was a hill. So I got out my sled. I was like, I'm going to try it out. I mean, I just didn't stop going.
Yeah, once you go, man.
I feel like it took me, like my parents aren't home. It's just me out. Like it took me a minute to get back home.
Yeah. What part of you got grabbed, stuck, or trapped? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Dana. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hi, guys. How you doing?
Hola.
Oh, boy. What part
I was
of
on the ferry
All right.
a couple months ago, going from Bremerton to the fish show in Seattle,
Oh, nice.
and it ran aground.
The ferry ran aground.
The ferry ran aground, yeah. I was with about 5 friends, and the lights flickered once, and then they flickered again, and then you could hear the engine just totally go off. And then you heard the captain say, "Prepare for impact."
Oh, wow.
And so we ran to the front to see what we were going to impact.
Wait, you
And
ran
we
ran in the direction of the thing you're going to hit. All right.
Yeah, I like to have fun.
Well, yeah, you were going to a fish show.
That's a good point.
Right. So we just kind of slid onto the ground, but we were still like 20 feet away from the shore.
Right.
So nobody could get off the boat. The people in the house that we were aiming for, they ran out of their house because it was this big, huge mansion, and we were just they thought we were coming through them.
Now, was this because of a king low tide or something, or what was the
power shut off?
There was an engine problem.
Oh, okay, all right.
All right, Dana,
So
I got to ask you. I have been to a fish show or two before. On the ferry ride, had anybody, let's say, ingested anything before this happened?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
So yes.
So no one was foggy, rather groggy.
I would be like, oh man,
So-
this isn't good.
So they made us all put life vests on, and then they tried to figure out what to do with everybody on the boat. So they pulled a tug up, and then they realized they couldn't tow us anyplace because the tide was coming out.
Ah.
And so we were like stuck in the muck. So we waited for about an hour and a half, and then we realized they were bringing a Kitsap fast ferry. So my husband and I decided we were just going to go down and see what was going on. They didn't want anybody going down to their cars. So he kind of went down there so he could get his 6-pack of beer and his cup so he could keep our party going.
Okay.
So they ended up taking people. We had to leave our car on the ferry, and they took people off the ferry with the fast ferry and brought them back to Bremerton.
So you went
Now,
back
we
to where
were
you
on the-
started from.
Yeah, which sucked for the poor people that lived in Seattle.
Why did they
Because then
make
you're
that
stuck in Bremerton.
decision? Why would you make that decision? Because obviously everyone on that ferry was headed to Seattle. That's why they were on the ferry. So why would you take them back to the place they started? That doesn't make sense to me.
I don't know, but that's what they ended up doing.
All right. Did you
So,
make it to the
and
fish
the
show?
next day, the next day they told us we could pick up our cars in the morning. So we went home, and I called my buddy, and I said, hey, will you give these guys a ride? I'll give you my ticket. You can see the last hour of the fish show. Well, when we got off, one of my friends might have taken the life preservers. So they went to the fish show with the life preservers on. And people thought they were crazy.
Yeah.
But this man with a laminate came up and said, what's up with the life jackets? And he said, did you hear about the ferry that got rammed? Well, we were on that. And he's like, really? Where are you sitting? And he says, up here in the nosebleed seats. And they escorted all 5 of my friends down to really good seats.
Oh, nice.
So something good comes out of something bad.
Here's my question for you. How long, from the moment the captain says brace for impact, how long do you have before impact happens?
Oh, it wasn't very long at all. It was probably maybe a minute.
So what? How did you find? Did you find out how they got the thing unstuck? I mean, you can't.
Probably got to wait for the tide to
is
come
there
back.
a towboat?
You had to wait for the tide to go out.
Yeah.
All right. So it's
They
just
said they
sitting
brought
there.
the tugboat, but then the tide was going out, so it's like, well, we can't help you at this point. So you got to wait 12 hours, let the tide roll back in, then
Right.
go grab it.
Damn.
Get it. I'd be so pissed if I had to go back to Bremerton. It's nothing against Bremerton. Like, dude, I left Bremerton. I'm headed to see it. Everyone on this boat is going to the same place, which is over here. And we're close. Obviously, we're running around. Why are you taking us all back to the place that we started?
I always have. I know the ferry system is very reliable, and we're one of the few cities that actually has something like that as far as public transportation is concerned. But I'm telling you, I just have the worst luck.
What, on ferries?
Whether it's just the line is 5 miles long to get on,
Sure,
or I miss it, or whatever the deal is. There just always seems to be something. It's never really the ferry's fault. I didn't know I needed to get there an hour early to wait in line, or whatever the deal was.
Yeah, depending on the day where you're
What
going.
side you're coming from.
Yeah, at least sometimes I get bummed out when I see that my light rail train going by. You know, as I'm walking
I know,
down
it
the
just
stairs.
irritates you.
But that's only 10 minutes. Nothing is worse than the ferry, and you're like, they cut it off the line before you get there.
Yep.
But nothing is more exhilarating. I've only done it twice. Me and my buddy pulled in, and they're like, all right, last card. We're like, oh, yeah.
All right. Flip off the people behind you.
Yeah.
Suck
it.
Hello, Greg. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bitches.
Hola.
So this is a pretty simple story. I imagine it's happened to hundreds of people. I can't imagine I'm the only idiot in the world. But so
now
I
really hope that you are. Just after you said that.
We'll let you know.
So I grew up in Vegas, riding dirt bikes all the time. And in my early 20s, we went out dirt bike riding the dunes by the Air Force Base. And it was hot, summer day, drinking beers. one of my buddies brought one of those old 3-wheelers with the big, huge, fat wheels, you know, the ATCs.
Yep.
And it was automatic, no clutch. So you just put it in gear and go.
Press the little button on the right.
Yeah. And so I decided, I'll give it a try. And I'm riding it around a little. And, well, you know, I'm a dirt bike rider. So I go into a turn and throw my foot down. Well, I'll be damned if that big back wheel didn't grab my heel, roll up my leg, rip me off the bike, run me over, and keep going.
That's a good look, man.
There's a reason they banned those things.
Yeah.
Those things are death traps.
Absolutely.
So were you pinned underneath the 3-wheel? Oh, it kept on going.
Oh, no. It ran me over, and it kept going because, you know, it was idle speed. It kept going until it hit a little uphill dune and stopped, and I had to run over and get it. And everybody's watching, so that was awesome.
How much farther did it go before it came to a stop?
About another 50 feet.
All right. Man, those things were death traps when I was a kid.
Yeah, I mean, they were.
Yeah.
As long as they exist, they're pretty much the death trap.
That's why they said, the hell with that. And went to the 4-wheeler we know now.
You know, but the problem is, man, as a little kid, you used to get the big wheel, so you're like, 3 wheels is the way to go. Kids on tricycles, right? You're telling me it's safe.
When I started playing golf, that's all the golf carts. They had like a handlebar in the middle, not even on the side as far as the steering column. It was just a big thing that you went like this.
Yeah.
Man, there was a number of times that a golf cart went over on its side. Just coming down a hill, going around a turn, anything like that. It would, and you just bail out and you're gone.
Golf carts are just like I've only known the 4-wheel ones.
Yeah.
But like back in the day when I was like in high school and like there was still some public courses where you could take the governor cap off the engine.
Yeah.
And those things would fly, but people were always getting messed up.
Of course.
Yeah.
What part have you got grabbed, stuck, or trapped? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Jeremy. Welcome to the men's room.
So I was running a board edge at a sawmill, and I reached down to grab a scrap piece of wood and throw it behind me, and I stuck my finger in the drive sprocket. I was running the camelback chains, and it kind of yanked me down, did a half somersault, landed on my side, and I looked at my glove, backside of my hand, and it was already blood, and went up, honked my horn, got my resaw guy's attention, held my hand up, and kind of did this funky chicken dance, and everybody knew what happened. Was wondering what happened, and I still didn't look at it yet until I got to the hospital, and the guy that brought me there handed the doctor a bag with some ice. I go, what was that? He goes, well, it was part of your finger, man.
Oh,
said, crap.
Oh, no, dude.
So you didn't know that it wasn't attached?
Yeah, so I had to look at it. It was just the bone tip sticking up out, you know. It just pulled everything right off the tip.
Jeez, a whiz. Golly. Oh, man. How's your finger now?
It's a little stubby.
It's a little stubby.
Yeah.
All right, that sounds about right.
Yeah, I guess you got lucky, though. Could have been
I
worse.
just brought it home and soaked it in cider.
Yeah. Damn, man.
That's terrifying stuff to me.
Yeah, it's like
absolutely terrifying.
Look, we read everything in the news, and some stories we don't even bring them up because they're just so disgusting,
so graphic. Like we kind of want to, but they're bad.
People who end up in chippers accidentally, people who end up in vats of acid, people who fall into just bad situations. Not the way you would ever want to go.
No, most of these, you definitely don't want to go like this. I will say that when I read through a lot of these stories, I'm more than happy to be bald.
Yeah,
right. I'm on so many of them. And it's just people doing regular, normal stuff.
Have you ever seen that show, like, I Shouldn't Have Survived?
Oh, yeah.
Or I can't, like, I watched one of them. Basically, it's a dude that's like a teenager. He lives on a farm, like, in the middle of nowhere. Like, let's just call it Iowa, Nebraska, one of those places. So, like, his parents are gone or whatever. So, like, his dad's just like, hey, can you run the normal chores? And it's like, sure. And it's thank you. It's some machine he has run like 100 times. But for whatever reason, this day, his shirt gets caught in it.
Oh, God.
The thing's going. Yeah, and it rips his arms off.
Oh, my God.
Both of them?
All right.
Yeah, and he wakes up to, like, the dog licking his... And he's like, what is going on? Like, why can't it... And it's like, it's hard. I mean, he basically has to, like a worm or a snake, like, waddle his way to the house or some crap.
So the worst one I've seen, and I don't know if it's the same show. There's like 2 of them. I Can't Believe I Survived or I Shouldn't Be Alive. And it's this dude, and they do it documentary style. So it's this bald dude, and you see him sit down in a chair... And I'm like, I don't think he has an arm, and you can't tell about his legs. Long story short, he is like a survivalist, and in retirement, what he has done, he takes people on tours of whatever river it is, wherever in Africa. And he's dealt with hippos a million times, and he explains, like, look, man, they're volatile beasts. Everyone knows that, but there's ways to kind of get around them, blah, blah, blah. Not on this day. So the guy in the canoe in front of him, who was also pretty experienced, gets blown out of his canoe, lands in the water. So he is trying to pull his buddy into his canoe before the hippo circles back. Then the hippo goes past his buddy and swallows this guy. He's like, I just remember, I feel pressure, everything's black. Right. Like, so, and as he explains it, I realize at this moment, I'm inside of the hippo's mouth. But the way he has him pressed down, all of his limbs, he's like, I couldn't do anything. All my limbs are pressed down. He's like, as you'd imagine, the hippo's pretty tight grip. And he was completely in the mouth. So no. He was head first in the mouth. And I want to say, like, his one leg was sticking out like a toothpick. All right. Swung him around a little bit. He does not remember anything after that. He goes unconscious. Basically, he wakes up. His buddies are around him. He's now in dry land. He's like, what happened? And they're like, you were in the hippo's mouth for a hot minute. We started beating this thing with oars and all the rest of this to piss it off. It just kind of let you go. And we pulled you to shore. But, yeah, he lost his arm and I believe one of his legs.
Wow.
In a hippo's mouth, man. Head first.
Well, you're talking about hair.
Yeah.
They say this is the horrifying moment a woman got her hair caught in a Ferris wheel.
God.
Leaving her trapped in an agony 25 feet above the ground at an Indian amusement park. Video shows a group of men. They're balancing on the ride's metal frame and frantically trying to free the woman and her hair from being tangled in the Ferris wheel. She screamed in agony as her hair became entangled in a huge structure, with a festival goer seen unable to move at all. So this was in northern India. If you're from India, I'm going to butcher a lot of these towns' names. The Ferris wheel, 2 members of staff and another man made the perilous ascent. So they basically free climbed it just to reach the woman.
Come on, they had to stop the Ferris wheel first.
Yeah.
This thing scooped her ass off the ground.
Then they tried to saw through her hair with a knife as another man stands in the compartment holding the woman's head. The incident, which could have been fatal, happened at the Indian town of Dwarka during the Shireshwar Carnival in the northwestern Indian state of Gujarat.
Come on, man, you've been flowing like butter.
I know. The panicked woman was left trapped and unable to move an inch.
God.
She was eventually released after her rescuers managed to disentangle her hair. They said they managed to cut it using a knife, and she was finally free.
Think about that, man.
I had to do that to a kid's hair and one of those trampolines. With like the nets around them?
Yeah.
Yeah. The one kid starts screaming. It's like, what's going on? But her hair got caught in the zipper when they went back in. And same thing, right? The girl's like 4, so she's kind of squirming around. I'm like, you've got to calm down.
Right.
Like, just stay still. But after a while, I couldn't get it out. And I looked around. There was no parents. I just took out my keys and cut her hair.
Sent her on her way.
Yeah, I mean, it was in their backyard.
Right. How does this 4-year-old explain what happened to her parents?
Well, it wasn't like a huge chunk. I was like, I made a business decision.
Yes,
we'll say.
did.
I'm right there with you, man. Like, we're gonna.
Because it was one of those things. Like, there was a birthday party going on inside. I had been elected to. I was like,
oh, God.
Hey, no worries. I'll watch the kids. Now I'm actually watching the Huskies versus Ducks on my phone. And I could see them in the trampoline, and then they start screaming. It's panic. I said, hang on, I got it. And then I couldn't free her. So I just finally got a little chunk of hair. She'll be fine.
What part of you got grabbed, stuck, or trapped? 206-803-ROCK.
I'm Snoop Dogg, and I'm giving up smoke. I know what you're thinking. Snoop, smoke is kind of your whole thing. But I'm done with it. I'm done with the coughing and my clothes smelling all funky. I'm going smokeless. Solo stove, fix 5. They took out the smoke. Now you can have a nice blaze without any clouds ruining your day. Go smokeless. Go to solostove.com. Tell them Big Snoop Dogg sent you.
Have you been in an accident that wasn't your fault? Feeling overwhelmed and unsure what to do next? Look no further. The personal injury attorneys at Phillips Law Firm are here to help. Phillips Law Firm understands that accidents can turn your life upside down. That's why they're dedicated to fighting for the compensation you deserve and to making the process as stress-free as possible. Don't wait any longer. Call now, 1-800-JUSTICE, or visit justiceforyou.com.
Lovers, your local lingerie and adult store has gifts of pleasure for partners who know it's nice to be naughty. Turn up the heat this holiday when you shop at any Lovers store. Let our knowledgeable team help you select the best pleasure presents and save 20% on your purchase with Lovers Afterglow rewards. Just mention Love 20 at one of our 18 Western Washington locations. Offer valid with free Lovers Afterglow rewards membership until December 31st. Some exclusions apply.
If you're a business owner, you know these sounds mean sales. And from the sound of it, your business is growing. Whether you're fulfilling orders from your home office or warehouse, Stamps.com helps you stress less about mailing and shipping and spend more time doing what you love most. Listening to ASMR. I mean, growing your business. But as you grow, so does the need for efficiency. Stamps.com simplifies your shipping and mailing process. Import orders from wherever you sell online. Find the lowest rates with the fastest delivery times. Instantly deliver tracking updates to your customers. And buy shipping and mailing supplies when you run low. Save time and money on mailing and shipping. Get started at Stamps.com today with code PROGRAM for a 4-week trial, free postage, and a digital scale.
99.9 KISW. The men's room returns with Miles and Thrill.
Oh, man. We're only a few weeks out here. Live Day goes to prom night. That is Friday night, November 17th, Snoqualmie Casino. We're taking it live. We're doing it tonight this time. Little prom festivities. All the costumes, the music, all the bands, the hosts, the sound effects, every commercial, every sound you hear, produced and generated from real live people.
I know. It's kind of a cool thing, man.
Yeah, it's very cool. BJ and Miggs will go on around 7-ish or so. We're going to come on right after it. So instead of doing the 2 shows throughout the day as we normally do, we're taking it to prom night this year. All the details and tickets at KISW.com. It's going to be a great time. If you don't have a ticket, check that out now. On our question, what part of you got grabbed, stuck, or trapped? 206-803-ROCK.
Here's one that you'll love, Miles. This is from Way High Window Guy. It says, my hair got caught in my descent device. I was propelling it down a 24-story building when my hair got caught in my rope. I tried to use soap and water. That didn't work. Finally, I decided to pull it out. Ripped out a big chunk of my hair. Ooh. Here's one. Anyone that's been around kids, this is not shocking. My nephew got his hand stuck in a vacuum cleaner at 1 year old. She had to go to the hospital. And then here's one that's kind of terrifying. I had a brain tumor. And after one of the surgeries, my brain surgeon had left a tube in my brain. I had to go to a new brain surgeon to get it removed. And right before they take me back into the OR, my new brain surgeon said he hoped he would be able to take it out without any gray matter. I was lucky. I survived getting it put in, and hopefully I would survive getting it taken out.
Gray matter, meaning the actual brain.
Yeah. I mean, I guess they have to tell you that, but, like, hey, docs, don't. You know, like, we know legally.
You never know, man. Maybe you get that taken out, you can speak, like, fluent French.
That's weird when that happens to people.
Or you get like an English accent. Something bizarre will happen.
Well, there's people like, I don't know, man. They got like struck by lightning and suddenly they know a language they never knew before.
What part of you got grabbed, stuck, or trapped? 206-803-ROCK.
I mean, the trauma part of whatever happened to you would suck. Mm-hmm. That would be kind of awesome to wake up one day and just be fluent in something.
Yeah, be like, I'm fluent in 15 languages. How did you learn? Oh, I was hit by a truck. That's my secret. Hello, David. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, liquor and whores.
Liquor and whores.
So, back when I was about 20 or so, we had, the little banquet candles. They're like a gel that you set on fire to keep your food warm.
Yeah.
So I was
Sternos, I believe they're called.
Yeah, something like that. I was trying to remember. So I just was setting it on fire, putting it out with my hand, setting it back on fire, putting it out with my hand. Eventually, it just sucked onto the palm of my hand, and it burnt 2 perfect circles into the palm of my hand. So I had 2 big blisters and 2 perfect circles on the palm of my hand.
And you couldn't pull it off?
Not until it was already burnt. But
okay.
So yeah, dumbass being stoned and burning stuff, and yep, 2 perfect circles in my hand.
Do you still have the scars?
No more scars. They went away eventually. Just 2 big blisters that eventually went away.
How long did you have the scars?
Oh God, I don't know, a couple of years, 4 or 5 years probably minimum.
Okay.
And it didn't hurt or nothing after the blisters popped, but it was just scars there for a while.
Yeah, and when you're messed up, I was going to say, the first time I went to a hookah lounge, I'd already had a few beverages, and I did not realize you're supposed to use tongs. And I just grabbed that coal to, like, move it. And I mean, same thing, within 2 seconds. I mean, just giant blisters on my pointer finger and my thumb.
But at least this guy was choosing to be stupid. You know, like, I know it's on fire, and you, Ted, it's a hot coal.
I didn't know how it worked.
Yeah. Well,
Seriously, I didn't realize it was a hot coal. I was just like, oh, I'll just move this one.
Well, when I was canoeing in Canada, the same thing. We terrible storm. We had to get on an island. We needed to get off that lake because the waves were getting pretty testy. And I jump out and I go knee deep in mud, pull the canoes up, and now we're basically just trying to set up some type of shelter.
Sure.
So that takes, and just to set up the tents, to set up a tarp, to just get everything together, that takes about an hour. Now, I don't realize that my legs are covered in leeches.
Right.
At that point in time. It's dark, it's rainy. I can't, I'm covered in mud. I can't really see what's going on. But those bad boys left marks.
Do they?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I would think they have to.
Yeah, they do. So,
like, how big is the mark? Because basically what they insert, like, their hook teeth, so you can't just yank them out. Right?
And it took, there was a couple of problems with the entire situation. The first problem was this was like day 2 or 3 of an 11-day trip.
Right.
How they had to get them off was they had to take the tub they brought, and I'm sure you remember this if you grew up in a poor house like I did, a country crock butter.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And that's what we used to cook with. Yep. However, the country crock butter was the only thing that could smother these leeches. So most of the stuff that we needed to make and use butter, now we're in butter shortage land.
Are people mad at you because leech legs over there?
Most of the butter or the margarine was used to smother the leeches so that they would let go because they can't breathe. So people were not happy with me just based on the fact that none of the food had any buttery flavor to it.
I'm sorry I got leeches, guys.
When you need to cook fish in a pan or whatever you call it, like no butter. This is not good. What part of you got grabbed, stuck, or trapped? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, David. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola.
Hola.
Hey, so this one wasn't actually me, but I used to be an EMT back 15-something years ago, and we got dispatched at like 3 in the morning for a non-medical extraction, which I had never been dispatched to before in my life, and it was in the middle of a parking lot in like a business complex. So it's 3 a.m. I think it was a Saturday night or a Sunday night, so nobody's there. So me and my partner roll in there, and we're looking around, and we don't find anybody. There's no lights on. There's no vehicles anywhere. So we're just kind of driving around in circles waiting for the fire department to get there with us. And I look over out of the corner of my eye. I see one of those big donation stations, the kind that they put up in the parking lot that are like 8 feet tall.
Yeah.
And there's 2 legs sticking straight up in the air out of this donation station. So this guy had apparently crawled in there to try and steal some clothes out of this thing at like 10 o'clock the night before. And he'd been stuck in there upside down for 5 hours.
Oh, my God.
And then a parking lot cleaner came through and saw the guy, went through, cleaned the parking lot, and then called 911 and left.
Didn't try to help him get out.
Nope, didn't try to help him get out. Did clean the parking lot with the little sweeper truck, whatever, and then took off.
What?
I mean, you think he knew he was still alive?
I'm not sure.
Well, let me ask you this.
I would assume so because he didn't seem super worried about it.
How disoriented are you when you have all that blood rushing to your head if you've been upside down for 5 hours? Like when you got him out of there, was he even able to stand, or did he? How disoriented was he?
He was pretty disoriented at first. I think he passed out for a while.
I would think so.
I was pretty sure he was also pretty intoxicated. So
I would think both of those things are true. Yeah,
I mean, he helps or hurts.
Yeah, he dove head first into that thing.
So you guys just literally grab one leg per guy and just yank his ass out?
No, because of how high up he was, the fire department put up ladders on both sides and then used like a winch basically to winch him out in reverse.
Okay.
And now do you have to take him to the hospital to get screened, or you just let the guy go?
If I remember right, he did not go to the hospital.
Okay. I'm sure he did not want to, based on the fact he was committing a crime, but 5 hours upside down.
That's why I'm always afraid of those inversion tables, because I have back issues. I've always thought about getting one for my house. But, man, if I get stuck upside down, I am screwed.
Didn't we have someone call? I feel like a woman called us a couple of years ago.
Yes.
And was it just an inversion table?
Yes.
Okay, so
was it hers, or was she like messing around on it?
I think she may have been messing around, but either way, she did end up upside down, and there was nothing she could do about
That
it.
might have even been like a video that went viral on the internet or a news story or something like that. That somebody they flipped upside down and they were videoing themselves doing it, but then they couldn't get themselves back up.
And that is an issue if no one else is around.
Right. Especially if you're a little on the top heavy side. Like it can be hard to get that counterbalance.
That's
going.
a good point. Again, I think you would pass out.
Eventually, sure.
I mean, in your core, trying to sit up and move. I mean, that's like a hardest sit up you can do, hanging upside down. So you're not going to be able to try that very many times.
I mean, Rocky
yeah.
did it.
So she was in a gym and strapped into one and got stuck upside down.
And it was like, what, 3 a.m, same kind of thing?
Yeah, I think so. Just late at night.
What part of you got grabbed, stuck, or trapped? 206-803-ROCK.
You're a strong fella. You can get 1 mile.
I could get one, but
if it doesn't quite flip up.
10 reps on that. I might be out of luck.
We have an interesting text here. Says, I had my top lip stuck in an escalator. Naturally, I responded, how? Says, mess around as a kid, and I face planted. It caught my lip and dragged me up the escalator. A stranger pulled me out before I went under.
Oh, my.
So he went all the way up the freaking escalator by the lip.
Do you not look at your shoes?
Damn,
Do you look at your
every
shoelaces when you get on an escalator?
Every single time.
That's my number one thing.
I mean, going through the airport every time. Look down.
Yeah, even the walking sidewalks.
Yeah,
what do they call
people mover. Yeah.
I do the same thing.
Every single time.
I get wigged out.
But I did see a girl once, and it was a girl I knew. We were kids, but yeah, she got her shoelaces stuck in the top of the escalator, and the thing had like a failsafe, so it stopped. But she couldn't get her foot out of the shoe because it pulled the laces so tight, and you couldn't really grab the lace because it was sucked under the escalator. We're at a department store. I have a real fuzzy memory of this. I was like 5 or 6. But I remember the entire time, they're just her blood-curdling scream. I know it's mostly out of fear, but I just remember her screaming, and I kept distancing myself from her because it was getting embarrassing. You know what I mean? I was there with her mom, so I let her mom deal with it, but I'm like, I don't know her.
What part of you got grabbed, stuck, or trapped? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Allie. Welcome to the men's room.
Hi, guys.
Hola.
I'm so excited to be calling in right now.
Does this mean that you have a terrible story to tell?
Well, I have a good story, and I've never even thought about calling in before, but this is a good story. I knew you'd like it. My daughter was 6 months old. It was the first time we had been out of the house without her. So I'm still breastfeeding at the time. My boobs are enormous, and we're at a wedding. And we're decorating the car for the bride and groom, to, drive away in.
All right.
So I'm kind of leaning over the car, throwing, crate paper or whatever on it, and someone shuts the door real innocently, right? And my nipple is stuck in the door.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So... I don't know what to say at this point. It's kind of like, and I'm like, oh, my nipple. And people are like, your nipple? And eventually someone notices what's going on, opens the door. Of course, my buddies
freeze the
roll
nipple.
over. What's that?
Freeze the nipple.
Someone freeze my nipple, yes. One of my buddies runs right over to make sure I'm okay, checks my nipple. Everything's fine.
Yeah, but what about when that kid latched back onto that thing and raw dogged it? And you're like, ah!
I don't remember it being painful, but it was pretty funny, and we all got a good laugh out of that.
How long was your nipple stuck in the door?
It had to have been a good 30 seconds.
God, man.
Too long.
How big or long are your nipples that get caught in the door? I mean, was it just nipple with no boob?
No, it was just nipple. Imagine.
Farrah Fawcett.
You can't, because you're not a woman, but breastfeeding, they get kind of, your baby's on there a lot.
I got you, man.
They stretch out.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, my cousin, when we were younger, this is probably like 5 years old, the big old heavy car doors. He closed 2 fingers into the door, but his hands, his fingers weren't that big, and the gap was just enough. So when he closed the door with his fingers in it, the door completely closed.
Yeah.
And he was outside screaming. I mean, he went out there to get something in the car, whatever the deal was. So the story goes. I don't know how long he was out there, but the fact that the door actually closed
all the way
with his fingers in it. It was
Man.
like some old Buick LeSabre, some just giant car. But either way, I know for a fact that they thought for a little while that they're going to have to get rid of the fingers. But
That would be my assumption as soon as I see it.
But then the fingers came back and whatever the deal was.
I thought I'd cut my toes off. So I was like 5 or 6 years old. My mother and I were at the grocery store. We were now leaving. And we had a 1973 Pontiac Grand Am. And it's 2-door. And if you open these doors and push it off a cliff, the thing would float down. Right? I mean, these doors were huge. My mom was nice, let me sit in the front seat. But she's like, hey, man, you got to close the door. But I physically had to get out of the car.
To grab it.
Right. And I'm a kid, so you're not thinking where your body parts are in relation to the task at hand. And my right foot was hanging just a little bit out. But, man, I slammed that door. And I just remember how sharp the pain was. And it's probably the most high-pitched scream I've ever let out. But it did not quite close all the way. So I opened it, but I had those original nasty-ass $5 Chuck Taylors. But the rubber fish head part was completely cut open.
Wow.
And there was a little bit of graze on my toes, but, I mean, that freaked me out.
What part of you got grabbed, stuck, or trapped? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Scott. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola. How's it going, guys?
Hola.
So I'll try to keep this kind of short, but it lasted for, well, still dealing with it. But anyway, I have a open cab Kubota tractor with a front end loader and a backhoe.
All right.
And I was going to do a private yard job and traveling alongside the highway there. And the ditch is probably 3 or 4 feet down. So I'm cruising along, and off to the right, this lady's coming down the hill to the intersection. And I didn't think she was going to stop. And as I looked up at her, the right front tire of the tractor went in the ditch and ejected me off the tractor, and the back rear wheel landed on my leg.
Ooh.
And so I'm pinned under this tractor in this ditch. Luckily, my son was behind me and was able to get the outriggers out and the bucket out and pick the tractor up off me. And I'm trying to pull my leg out from under the tire. Well, I didn't realize that I had broken my foot. And so my foot is 90 degrees from my knee to the right. It's stuck into the bank. So I had to dig my foot out of the bank and kind of pull myself back up onto the ditch. And the funny part is, I don't know if it's funny, but the fire department's only like a block away. But it still took them 20 minutes to get there.
So how's your leg now? You said you're still dealing with it.
Yeah, no. I called my wife as I'm laying there because she was working in the emergency room. And I said, yeah, I'm on my way. I'll see you soon. And so they wheeled me into the emergency room. Had to have 2 doctors come in and reset it. And then I had surgery the next day, and I still have a steel plate and 10 screws in my leg.
Yeah, I would think you do after a tractor rolls over you.
Now, did that total the tractor?
No, it didn't hurt the tractor at all.
You know, Kubota should advertise that. We could run your ass over and snap your foot in half in our tractors. Keep on rolling.
Have you gotten back on it?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I use it pretty much every week.
All right.
Yeah, that story got awful once you said your foot was at a 90 degree.
And you know how big those tires are.
They're massive.
Yeah.
Oh, here's another good text that came in. It says, when I was about 5 or 6 years old, my brother convinced me to climb inside of a refrigerator box. Then he proceeded to duct tape me inside, cut a small air hole on the side of the box. Well, he left me there for hours until my mom came home. They point out they're claustrophobic to this day.
Yeah.
That will do it, man. God damn.
What part of you got grabbed, stuck, or trapped? 206-803-ROCK.
Hello, Quindarius. Welcome to the men's room.
Greetings, gents.
Hola.
Hey, so I was I work in a weed grow, and we were hanging some gear up in the ceiling, and I had to unistrut. It's 2 pieces of metal, and I'm up on a ladder about 12 feet up, and I had lost a bet. I was 2 years into this beard that I had to grow. I had to grow a beard for 3 years, and I hated it. And the thing gets caught in between these 2 pieces of unistrut, and it's roto-hammered together. There's no getting that out. And I didn't realize it. So when I started climbing down the ladder, I took a step down, and my head just was stuck up in there, and I'm hanging by my beard off of this unistrut, and all on cameras, because we got cameras everywhere in there. But I hated that beard, and I used to get it caught in my car window and all that. But the worst one was hanging by my head from this unistrut.
I can see how that's the worst one.
Why did you have to grow a beard?
Lost a bet.
Yeah, but let's more importantly, what was that bet?
A guy was supposed to give us $50,000 on a loan for the grow to do some stuff we wanted to do in the beginning, and he backed out. I had a buddy. He goes, that guy's going to back out. And I go, no, he's solid. It's going to go. And he goes, I'll bet you. He had a beard. He said he'd shave his off if the guy paid. And he didn't pay. So I paid 3 years.
So you didn't get the money? Yeah, no money, and you had to grow a beard.
And I had to grow a beard for 3 years.
Does that mean that you were not allowed to trim it? So whatever the length it was, it just had to keep on growing?
Gnarly as hell. Yep, it looked terrible. The deal was I couldn't touch it.
What did your face look like after you shaved? I got to know, just like blackheads or just what's underneath there? You know, it hasn't seen the light of day.
It was a little weird looking because I think all the follicles are open. You know,
yeah.
So that first 3 days, no tan, had white. I tan pretty easy. I'm like I get dark.
So did you look like a clown?
I'm salt and pepper. I look like Gandalf. Everybody called me Gandalf.
3 years, man.
Hello, Gandalf.
Who Sucks Less is coming up, along with your emails from the men's room at KISW.com next.
I'm Snoop Dogg, and I'm giving up smoke. I know what you're thinking. Snoop, smoke is kind of your whole thing. But I'm done with it. I'm done with the coughing and my clothes smelling all funky. I'm going smokeless. Solo stove, fix 5. They took out the smoke. Now you can have a nice blaze without any clouds ruining your day. Go smokeless. Go to solostove.com. Tell them Big Snoop Dogg sent you.
Have you been in an accident that wasn't your fault? Feeling overwhelmed and unsure what to do next? Look no further. The personal injury attorneys at Phillips Law Firm are here to help. Phillips Law Firm understands that accidents can turn your life upside down. That's why they're dedicated to fighting for the compensation you deserve and to making the process as stress-free as possible. Don't wait any longer. Call now, 1-800-JUSTICE, or visit justiceforyou.com.
Lovers, your local lingerie and adult store has gifts of pleasure for partners who know it's nice to be naughty. Turn up the heat this holiday when you shop at any Lovers store. Let our knowledgeable team help you select the best pleasure presents and save 20% on your purchase with Lovers Afterglow rewards. Just mention Love 20 at one of our 18 Western Washington locations. Offer valid with free Lovers Afterglow rewards membership until December 31st. Some exclusions apply.
Deep underground the Jelly Belly factory, Bibi is in her secret laboratory creating the weird and wild flavors of Bean Boozled.
I started again.
Is it pomegranate or Old Bandage? Dare to compare. Bean Boozled, 6th edition. Are you brave enough?
I'm Snoop Dogg, and I'm giving up smoke. I know what you're thinking. Snoop, smoke is kind of your whole thing. But I'm done with it. I'm done with the coughing and my clothes smelling all funky. I'm going smokeless. Solo stove, fix 5. They took out the smoke. Now you can have a nice blaze without any clouds ruining your day. Go smokeless. Go to solostove.com. Tell them Big Snoop Dogg sent you.
Have you been in an accident that wasn't your fault? Feeling overwhelmed and unsure what to do next? Look no further. The personal injury attorneys at Phillips Law Firm are here to help. Phillips Law Firm understands that accidents can turn your life upside down. That's why they're dedicated to fighting for the compensation you deserve and to making the process as stress-free as possible. Don't wait any longer. Call now, 1-800-JUSTICE, or visit justiceforyou.com.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith from the Men's Room. And did you know I have a podcast? Well, I do. The Podcast. New episodes uploaded every Wednesday on the Odyssey app.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Who Sucks Less is coming up, but first time for a few emails from the men's room at KISW.com.
You've got mail. You've got mail.
Had a couple from our question. What part of you got grabbed, stuck, or trapped? Ola, guys, I work as a bigger boy. I was often tasked with moving the heavy side of stuff or moving stuff alone. So one day I was asked to move an 800-pound cabinet full of equipment. I made two terrible mistakes. I told them I would move it filled, and I could do it alone. When I got it in the elevator, it slipped off the hand truck and pinned me against it and the back of the elevator. I had no room to move and was like Atlas from the Greek myths being squished. When the door opened in anger, I used all of my strength to heave the silly thing off of me into the building lobby, damaging the cabinet and scaring the hell out of the receptionist. Tore my rotator cuff, took forever to heal. I don't move things alone anymore, and I don't let anyone else either. That from Terry. Here's another nipple story.
Oh, boy.
Oh, nipple day.
Yeah.
On the men's room.
Oh, it's my favorite day of the year.
Holovitch's, I was using my laptop and didn't realize my nipples were on the touchpad area. I got frustrated and slammed the lid down. Proceeded to catch my nipples between the lid and the base. I screamed so loud, I woke up the dog in the next room. Big boobs have their drawbacks. Thanks for being a light in the darkness, guys, and rock on. That from Cookie.
She didn't get
Known
stuck.
as Iris.
But I knew a girl that, was ample breast. She had, I wasn't with her at this time, but she had nipple rings. And I think it was Lake Chelan or something, jumped off like a cliff or a bridge. And as she entered the water, the rings ripped out.
Oh, God. Protect your nipples, people.
At all times.
Yeah. Olovich Ola's happy 4,000. Well, we're almost there. 3,998.
Is that really Friday?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah. Guys, can I get a birthday shout out to our son Alex, turning 29 today. He's well on the way to being a good man while working on his electrician journeyman license. Can we get the Dirty Germans to talk about the unusual amount of wire he pulls daily? Coach Ted, to coach him up on raising almost 3-year-old twin daughters and possibly a long cat fart. Thanks, guys. Your show is always a good topic of conversation. That from Mike.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I find it funny that in this country you refer to your penis as wire.
Yeah, see, I didn't realize that. It sounds that odd to me. It's the best thing I love is that you call everything the input.
Yeah.
Stick something in there.
Yeah, you're right. Everything is.
But we're German, so ours fits different. All right, 3-year-old twin daughters. First of all, the good news. There's 2 of them. They can take care of each other. Not take care of each other. They're pretty young, but they can play with each other. Mike, I had a friend that raised some twins, and he was like, it's awesome. They always have a friend they like. Bad news. Everything is going to cost twice as much, and I'd imagine when one's upset, the other one's upset. Another bonus. Every year on Halloween, you have the best costume till they're about 10. Just send them out. It's like 2 creepy matching kids, little girls, that like have them sing a spooky song or something. You know, like a la, la, la.
Let's see, guys. My friend who would have asked for a shout-out on my 60th birthday went and died on me, so I got to do it myself.
Oh, jeez, man.
Can you wish me, Brett, a happy 60th with a do you like that? Fish sandwich. And can Captain give me some advice on my birthday Devil's Three-Way with Betty Crocker and Captain Morgan? Thanks, guys. That from Brett.
You like that? You like that?
Ooh, well, ahoy there. Yeah, the old Devil's Three-Way with Captain Betty Crocker and Captain Morgan. And that particular excursion we had, he started calling it Spiced Bum. It was... And he made it available for all takers, but I'll tell you that night, Betty Crocker came up with her muffin mixes. That's when she jiggles her breast at. And also, we discovered there's a reason she uses the phrase super moist on most of her products.
Oh.
That's a self-description. It's not the cake. Crunch Berries.
All right, guys, here you go.
Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy birthday to you, to you, to you.
Ya's the Dirty Germans, brought to you by Men's Room Original Sausage. Available through Uli's World Famous Sausage, mensroomlive.com, and other fine retailers. Schweinefleisch.
Oh, thank you, Rob. Let's catch up here on a couple extra emails. Subject is the Craig Gass Show. Guys, thanks so much for letting us know about the show. Craig was funny as hell. Found out at the end of the show, when I was talking to Craig, the bald, gangly guy sitting next to me was Ryan Castle. They came up and started chatting with Craig, and I immediately recognized his voice. Tell him I said thanks for coming to the loudest, drunkest couple that talked through the entire show. All in all, it was a great night. I had a blast. You guys rock, and keep up the awesome work. Yeah,
that email's been bugging me for 2 days. Was he saying Ryan was drunk or him and his girl with the
I think him and his girl
with the drunk.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
All right. Yeah, I imagine a comedy club talking about trading kiss stories. Like, people probably get a little rowdy.
I'm sure.
Miles' opinion. Gentlemen, I was making breakfast this morning, had a thought I could not get out of my head. If Miles would not mind, could he rank the following feelings? Sex,
Feelings?
masturbation, or flushing a long iron for the middle of the fairway and landing it right next to the pin. Thank you, and rock on. That from Ramon. I would put it in that order. Sex, masturbation,
Right.
and then flushing it by the pin. That would be the right order.
I think that's the right order.
I can get lucky on a golf shot. The others are harder.
Hopefully.
Yeah, right? If not, great. I wasted another opportunity. Guys, I've heard the story a few times. What kind of dog is it? The dog that was the bus riding dog there. I'm guessing it's a lab. I believe it was a black lab.
I think so, if I remember.
Something. Great story. It made me think how bad my Dalmatians are at training. No way they could do anything like that. I've heard that, too, about Dalmatians.
They're not the brightest.
Hope to see you guys at Live Night. Keep up the dad jokes, funny stuff. I finally watched the documentary on clocks. It was about time. Thanks, guys. That from Jerry.
All right. There's a pretty funny video going around. I can't remember if I showed it to you guys or not, but it was Dad Joke Survivors.
Yes, and
So
it's like a documentary.
Right. So, like, if there was something like that, then it'd be like, and now Billy can't look at clocks.
Right, can't tell time.
Yeah, exactly. It's like Billy seems dumb, but it's because of dad jokes.
Yes. As far as being inebriated in that story, hey guys, a couple months ago, we were singing karaoke on a Saturday night. Already drank a 15-pack and then started with some straight bourbon on the rocks, along with some more beer. Started out taking my shoes and socks off. Then my shirt came off. Now, according to my wife, my jeans came off, and a couple songs later, I'm butt-ass naked and still singing, apparently, according to her. I don't remember anything past my shoes and socks coming off. Good Times brought to you by Men's Room Original Ale and Woodford Reserve. That from the Elk Plain Drifter.
I will say, Elk Plain Drifter, I have done that mistake before, and it's so poor. Not getting naked singing karaoke. It's that he's already had a bunch of beer.
Right.
But it's like, sounds, you know what, I should switch to, like, hard liquor.
Get this party going, man.
Yeah, like, I've done it before, or like, for instance, last time I was in Baltimore, my buddy just doesn't drink a lot of beer anymore.
Yeah.
So, but he had a couple with us, and it's like 10 o'clock at night. He's like, you got any bourbon? And my sister's like, yeah, of course. And I'm like, screw it. You know what? Get me a bourbon. I mean, that was a wicked hangover. I was like, why did I switch? And he was like, dude, I showed up later than you. I told you, don't start drinking bourbon with me.
Yep. Another inebriation story here. 1988, Klamath Falls, Oregon. I'm 19.
Oh.
Went to a party. Drank, smoked, and carried on. Is that where you got your car broken into?
Yeah, it's where we got our beer stolen out of our RV.
Right, yeah.
Klamath Falls. Just a lovely town.
I can tell.
Woke up in the morning in only my underwear in a bed next to a very large lady. It was just like the movies. I quietly gathered my clothes and snuck out of the bedroom, and I was getting dressed as I ran out the front door. Well, she found out where I lived and showed up to my house.
Oh.
I was scared. Again, she was a very large lady. Went outside
I
to smoke,
want more of your good times.
and went to the neighbors until she left for about 6 hours.
Jesus.
Good times. That from Raymond, the transplanted guy from Klamath Falls. And one more.
You
Ted,
made a
brought
good
this
call,
up.
Raymond.
Mm-hmm. Ted, have you watched Swamp Kings? That's the one on Netflix about the Florida Gators?
I have.
Yeah, just curious about your thoughts on it and if you enjoyed watching it. That from our Duke Austin affiliate.
I might have been talking about this yesterday. I can't remember if that was on the air or off the air. I mean, look, I'm a college football junkie, so it was interesting to see, but I thought it was kind of just a kiss-ass, like, let's make Urban Meyer not seem like the psychopath that he is.
Right.
I also think it's interesting, like, look, those teams did win. There was a lot of bad people on on those teams, right? And they just glossed over all the kind of serious stuff. And Urban Meyer really drove those dudes to kind of almost insanity, which I get. Football, you got to make people a certain way to play your style, but there's plenty of coaches that have been madly successful that didn't do that.
He's an S-hook.
Yeah.
Have you seen
long and short of it.
Have you seen the other day, a couple weeks ago, on because he's on Big Noon Kickoff on Fox?
I saw him for a little bit, yeah.
Which I love Game Day, but that show is very good. But as they came back from commercial, he's on the side of the set just chatting up a co-ed.
Of course he is.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. And the subject is farts. Ola Bajolas. I heard you guys talking about farts on the podcast on the Odyssey app the other day, so I figured I'd chime in with my epic Seattle fart story and share a laugh. I was at the Mariners game a few years back, digesting good old ballpark food, when my stomach started to rumble. So I positioned my cheeks toward the opening between the back of the chair, and during a louder game moment, I let it rip. Man, it was a vile cloud. My good friend next to me, he is deaf, and with his hearing aids, shortly after I cut one, I received a knock on the back of his chair. He turned around to the guy behind him asking, "Hey, buddy, you just S yourself or something?" My buddy turned to me, being hard of hearing, not sure what the guy said behind him. I'm choking up, biting my tongue, trying not to laugh at my handiwork. Just kind of shrugged, said not sure what's up, and went back to watching the game. Thanks for all you guys do, and keep up the great work.
Oh, come on.
That's a tough one, farting that bad at a game. That people are like, dude.
Now, the men's room wants to know who sucks less?
Yay! Time for Who Sucks Less. Stephen Thrill, you bring us 3 stories from the news each and every week. They all suck, but it's up to us to determine out of these 3 stories which one sucks the least. Now, if you happen to follow KISW on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram, the debate is already underway on Who Sucks Less.
Yes, indeed. And as we said at the top of the show, this is companies that have to issue an apology. We have Hertz Rent-A-Car, we have Air Canada, and the rather luxury hotel chain Ritz-Carlton. But let's start with Hertz Rent-A-Car. Now, Hertz, they have apologized to a Puerto Rican customer after one of its employees refused to let him rent a car that he paid for in advance because the guy didn't show a passport. Humberto Martin, he said that he traveled to New Orleans, presented his Puerto Rican driver's license at the Hertz counter at the Louis Armstrong International Airport. Did it, bop, bop. Now, the employee asked for his passport, even though, like all Puerto Ricans, Martin, he's a U.S. citizen. Doesn't have to have a passport to rent a car in the United States. In case you don't know, Puerto Rico is a commonwealth of the U.S. Anyone born on the island is by law a U.S. citizen. Anyway, Hertz said that the company, they do accept Puerto Rican driver's licenses from customers without requiring a valid passport, saying, quote, "We sincerely regret that our policy was not followed and have apologized to Mr. Martin and refunded his rental." Now, a video recorded by Martin shows the employee asking him to leave while he repeatedly reminds her that his Puerto Rican driver's license is just as valid as those issued in Louisiana or any other U.S. state. The employee then threatened to call the police, and Martin responded, "Yes, please call the police." So she did. And when the police department officer responded to the scene, he also asked him to leave, and as he walked away, he heard the police officer threaten to call Border Patrol. Again, the guy's from Puerto Rico, man. This guy's a U.S. citizen. Anyway, it's not clear if Hertz took any disciplinary action against the employee. However, the company said that the employee, like all of their employees, has been reminded of their long-standing policy related to Puerto Rican driver's licenses. Anyway, Martin said he also plans to file a complaint against the police department, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, yeah,
It's amazing.
it is staggering. My parents had to go through this. Their license plate says New Mexico. You would be stunned at the number of people that do not recognize that New Mexico is a state. It's not a newer version of Mexico. Seriously, it's happening like 3 times. They cannot believe how stupid people are.
Really?
Honestly, when I went to visit them in April, they shared that story, and I'm like, BS. My father, both of them, they're just like,
What, were they parked in a parking lot or something?
When you drive out of state, they'll
Yep.
pull you over and you show the license, and they're like, "You don't see Mexican?" They're like, "We're not, dumbass. We're from New Mexico." They're in Arizona, and they still had to explain, like, your neighbor is called New Mexico, not the country, the state. But that's what we're working with here, all right? So now let's go to Air Canada. So Air Canada, they've been forced to apologize after a man with spastic cerebral palsy was forced to drag himself off of a plane when the airline failed to provide a wheelchair. So Rodney Hodgins, he requires the use of a motorized wheelchair, flew to Vegas with his wife Deanna to celebrate their anniversary. But when the plane landed, the flight attendant told the couple, "We don't have time to get your wheelchair on board," before the plane had to prepare for takeoff again. So when the attendant said Hodgins would have to pull himself off of the plane alone, the couple first thought that she was joking. But then she repeated the request. So he was forced to use his upper body strength to haul himself past 12 rows of seats with his wife holding his legs. So they're like doing the wheelbarrow down the aisle. Quote, It took us struggling in front of a dozen people. As some looked away, others looked on with shame to get him off the plane. He hurt his legs, I hurt my back. Emotionally, a lot more was hurt. My husband's human rights were trampled, etc., etc. Air Canada has failed us in every sense. So, keep in mind, this is the same airline that last month, they lost the wheelchair of Canada's chief accessibility officer. So they have a repeated thing on this. It says, anyway, he was offered a $2,000 flight voucher by the airline, but said the compensation would not fix the problem. Man. So, yeah, you got to get yourself off the plane. Yeah. Because, it's very important to the airline industry to be on time. Come on. And then finally, the Ritz-Carlton. Now, this story, man, oh, man. And just keep in mind, there's one little sentence in here that kind of makes me chuckle in spite of the fact the situation's not funny. In this case, a woman is suing Ritz-Carlton for delivering a water bottle that had been contaminated with human semen by one of its employees. The woman and her husband, referred to as Jane and John Doe in the lawsuit, they visited the Ritz-Carlton in the Half Moon Bay, California, but their 4-night stay turned into a nightmare one evening when the wife requested a few bottles of drinking water. And after they were delivered by a member of the hotel staff, Jane Doe took a swig of water and immediately realized that something wasn't right. This is the sentence that kind of makes me smile. The water had a weird taste that she horrifyingly recognized. I swear to God, that is what's in. I was like, wow. Anyway, her lawyer said, quote, right. Again, I'm going to read what they put. The water had a weird taste that she horrifyingly recognized. According to her lawyer, she opened it, took a drink, and knew immediately that something was wrong with the liquid she just swallowed. They say Jane Doe was mortified, terrified, embarrassed, humiliated, but shared her suspicion with her husband, who then asked the hotel security and management representatives to call the police. So the couple told the police, look, the water bottle that was delivered to them by the hotel staff contained semen. And officers had no choice at that point but to take a sample for analysis, and the test showed they were right. It did contain human semen. She knows her taste. The Ritz-Carlton subsequently, they did their own investigation, sent the water bottle to a lab for analysis, and the testing confirmed yes. So both the cops and Ritz-Carlton, and separate lab tests, confirmed that there was semen in the water. But making things worse, Ritz-Carlton Hotel will not give the water bottle or a copy of the test results to law enforcement for analysis. They will not disclose the identities of the hotel employees on duty that day, or their backgrounds, or their criminal histories. They don't want them scrutinized. So now the couple is suing the Ritz-Carlton.
A lot to swallow in this story.
Oh, wow, Mike. Kind of give you one of these.
All right. I guess.
I like that she recognized the tape.
This is semen. I guess the Hertz employee and the cop sucked the least. In this instance, based on the fact that guy had to crawl out of an airplane.
So you said the Hertz rental car?
I think that one sucks the least.
I would agree.
Based on all three stories
here. Because they're not being mean. They're actually just ignorant.
They're dumb. Yeah, I wouldn't even call them stupid because they should know better.
They're ignorant. Because like I said, ignorance can be fixed with knowledge. Stupid means knowledge does not apply.
But the Hertz one is kind of a double whammy. It's bad enough with the employee, but then when the cop goes, I want to call immigration. It's
like, Border Patrol.
Guys, Border Patrol.
I'm a U.S. citizen.
Right, it's Puerto Rico. Like, that's one of the beauties of going to Puerto Rico. You don't have to take a passport.
No, you keep the same money.
Yeah, I was going to say. The Ritz-Carlton one sucks the most just because I don't understand why you wouldn't just tell the cops who did this.
And the thing is,
who was on duty. Let them solve the crime, but like...
And you told the cops, you know what? We confirm what you confirmed. The cops go, great, because that's what they called us about. Let's give us the information. Nope. Like, come on, man.
Yeah, and then I'm with Miles. That Air Canada one just brutal. The guy's just dragging himself off a plane. I mean, number one, that sucks for him. Number two, that's massively embarrassing.
Oh, yeah, they pointed that out. I mean, I had to edit the story down, but yeah, they went through a lot of that. But I figured you could kind of piece together why you'd be that humiliated.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the Ritz-Carlton, we agree that's the...
That's the worst. We're saying, I guess, Hertz sucks the least.
I think what cracks me up about the Ritz-Carlton, it's not that she said, and think about this, she did not say there's something wrong with the water. She said there's semen in the water because I recognize the taste.
I think if I was a chick, I'd recognize the taste.
That's good to know, buddy.
Debate continues on Who Sucks Less if you follow KISW on Facebook and on Instagram. Shot of the Day's coming up. You are listening to The Men's Room.
I'm Snoop Dogg, and I'm giving up smoke. I know what you're thinking. Snoop, smoke is kind of your whole thing. But I'm done with it. I'm done with the coughing and my clothes smelling all funky. I'm going smokeless. Solo stove, fix 5. They took out the smoke. Now you can have a nice blaze without any clouds ruining your day. Go smokeless. Go to solostove.com. Tell them Big Snoop Dogg sent you.
Are you dealing with a personal injury? Don't go it alone. Turn to the experienced team at Phillips Law Firm. Their attorneys have helped thousands of clients get the compensation they deserve. Call Phillips Law Firm now. Call 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com. Lovers, your local lingerie and adult store has gifts of pleasure for partners who know it's nice to be naughty. Turn up the heat this holiday when you shop at any Lovers store. Let our knowledgeable team help you select the best pleasure presents and save 20% on your purchase with Lovers Afterglow rewards. Just mention Love 20 at one of our 18 Western Washington locations. Offer valid with free Lovers Afterglow rewards membership until December 31st. Some exclusions apply.
Ah, the satisfying sounds of more sales in your business. And from the sound of it, your business is growing. But you shouldn't have to pay more to scale your business. With Stamps.com, you can import orders from wherever you sell online, find the lowest rates with the fastest delivery times, and instantly deliver tracking updates to your customers and stock up on supplies. Get started at Stamps.com today with code PROGRAM for a 4-week trial, free postage, and a digital scale.
99.9 KISW. The shenanigans continue. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill.
All right, to code up in just minutes, we'll drink and toast with a shot of the day. We do have your headlines coming up at 5:50. But first, quick check-in with Mike Hogg and some of the stories and headlines he is not working on.
Thank you, Miles. The average person spends 4 days in recovery mode, quote unquote, after going on an international trip.
That sounds about right.
Right?
All right. That makes sense.
Especially for us when you're going not north or south, but you're going to Europe, you're going to Asia.
You are
you're going,
so upside down.
Oh my God. When you're on the other side of the world, when you're calling back to your family who's waking up at the time that you're exhausted and going to bed, like you can't help but just flip your world upside down at that point.
And then flying back is the worst.
Oh my God.
Because on vacation, you're more inspired to just fight through it.
Sure,
I'm
you're
here.
excited.
We spent the money. Let's see
what
all
are we
the
going to
stuff.
do? What are we going to see?
Right.
Yeah.
Man, when you get back, you're just like, oh my God. Like, I cannot function. I don't want to do anything.
You count every minute on that flight back.
Oh my God, you really do. You really, really do.
And the time zone's weird. Like when I went to London, I got back, and it was like a Monday afternoon. Right? So I got some food. I remember I called my cousin, and I was like, he's like, what are you doing calling me? Aren't you on the air? I was like, no, man. Just got back from, Monday Night Football's coming on. Blah, blah, blah.
Ready.
Yeah, and then I woke up 7 hours later asleep on my couch. I never even made kickoff. And this was 5 o'clock.
I think you need 1 day of rest before you kind of go back to work.
At least.
You can't just fly in and then go to work the next day. I mean, that's the worst.
Yeah.
You can, but it'll catch up.
Yes.
Yeah. I've done that before, and it is a day to work through, but it's a rough one.
Yeah.
U.S. News posted a list of the best cities to retire, and all of the top 5 are in what state do you think?
Arizona.
No, not Florida or Arizona. Steve, you're going to be pissed.
Oh, Pennsylvania.
For real?
Yes.
Pennsylvania?
The top 5 are all in Pennsylvania.
Why?
To
retire?
To retire.
Do you want to get snowed every winter?
That's a typo.
Not have any damn thing to do? I mean, honestly, God, we make fun of it. It's not the worst place, but I'm telling you, I can't imagine anyone retiring who does not live in Pennsylvania and then saying, you know what? I want to retire to Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Does it have to do with money and
to be honest with you, Ted, I'm not working on it, so I have no idea what the actual parameters are.
All right.
But even then, number 6 is New York.
If you're a millionaire, sure.
Right.
I will say, I know a couple people who have relatives that are in retirement communities and that kind of area of PA, outside of Philly and stuff.
All right.
And they love it.
Do they?
Well, they don't have to shovel snow or anything because they're in a community.
Sure.
Okay.
You could also just hole up in your house and not give a damn. You got everything you need in there. I'm just going to hang out for a while, weather this out.
Yeah,
but a while's November to April.
You would just
my kids will come dig me out here.
You would just get bored. That's why I stay on my mother. I'm just go join a community, have some friends.
Right, come on, man. Kahlua scented perfume is a thing that exists now.
Oh, good.
It smells like a espresso martino.
Thank you.
Espresso.
Did you say martino?
Did I?
Yeah, espresso martino.
That sounds fancy.
That sounds like a gangster. I'm espresso martino.
Yeah, I knew that guy.
Would you like a strawberry margarito?
Espresso martino. It's like,
espresso
are
martini.
you Italian or Latin?
He doesn't talk much. Espresso martino.
I feel like that's something Harry Potter would say to get some alcohol. Espresso martino. Shake his magic wand and poof, underage drinking is on.
Abracadabra's out.
You think they ever threw Rangers at Hogwarts?
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. You away from the family? Come on.
You're damn right, man. That's just, it's school for them. So, when you get into the senior years, yeah, things get weird.
They get real weird.
Hey, you want to fly over to the girls' dorm?
We should make a follow-up to Harry Potter. Like behind the scenes.
Right.
When they weren't trying to save the world, they were getting knee-deep in...
Harry's something else.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
It was a description, not his name.
We talked. The Kahlua scented perfume is one of those things that it's a fun novelty, but let's face it, after you get it and use it like once, you're never going to use it again. And our houses are full of those things that they were fun at the time, or maybe somebody got it for us that we didn't really care to really keep around, but we do anyway to make them feel better. So our houses are full of clutter, and spring cleaning is coming up, so it's about time to mark these things off. And luckily, I've got you a list.
The Men's Room Top 10. The Men's Room Top 10. 10 items you should declutter from your home right now. We all have things we hold on to for too long. Things that are taking up too much space in your closet, leaving you with very little room for your things. One good way to declutter those things you no longer love, use, or cherish is called a divorce.
I mean, that is one way to get rid of things. But these are items that you should declutter from your home right now. Let's just see how many guilty parties we have in this place here. How many of us have long neglected craft supplies in our home somewhere?
I do not.
No, I don't either.
Yeah, I mean, I don't, but I don't craft.
That's part of the reason why.
Yeah. I know the newest addition to the long neglected craft supplies that will sit there for a while is the bead collection that my wife just got because she wanted to make friendship bracelets for the Jonas Brothers concert down in Vegas.
Oh my God.
And so now there's just going to be beads in our home until I decide to sneakily throw them away. Yeah, no kidding. The cats love that, by the way.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
Did she end up making friendship bracelets?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I had to tie them all.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. All of them. I got real
So they're not
good
like
at
the
it.
stretchy ones?
They're the stretchy. Well,
You still got to tie them.
yeah.
All right. All
Because
right.
you got to find a way to get the beads on somehow.
Can I put in some requests?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, dude. Yeah, shoot me a text. I'll get you.
All right.
Anybody with expired medications? Time to declutter that.
We did up until recently. About a year ago, we kind of went through and
had a rager.
Well, it still gets me high. No, we're getting our kitchen redone. So as you're pulling crap out of cabinets, you know what I mean? There was I'm like, yeah, we can throw this away. This has not been good since 2017.
I'm guilty of that one. I have a couple.
When did I need Valium?
Valium. That's the one I'm always trying to think of.
Got you, Ted.
Well, see, I'd sit on that, but for different reasons.
Yeah, I mean, remember, I was the idiot. Years ago, I had pneumonia, so they gave me cough syrup with the actual stuff with codeine.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I had a little bit, and I was like, I'm going to make,
cocktails.
sip on syrup one day, Merc Purple drink. Never did. I took it to 3 different apartments, and finally I was like, I'm just throwing it out.
Right.
Like, why am I bringing this around?
You're not finding the right time to do it yet.
Yeah.
Screw it. Old phone chargers and other extraneous cords.
And you never know what they're for.
That's the problem.
Right.
Like, I want to get rid of them, but we agree that within a week of getting rid of it, we're going to find the thing that needs it.
I was about to say, we all have the universal knowledge that as soon as we throw this away, oh, there it is.
Right, exactly.
Doggone it. Items that you should declutter from your home right now. Stuff that's been lingering in your freezer.
We've definitely gotten better about that.
Yeah, I have too.
My wife, bless her heart, dude, she's the one that clears out the fridge and the freezer all the doggone time. There would be an absolute scientific culture in my fridge if not for her.
Well, we got lucky. When we redid the kitchen, the fridge and freezer we got is taller than a standard one.
Nice.
But it's not as deep. So we realize every time you open it, you can see everything in there without moving anything.
Nice.
And as a result of that, it almost nothing just sits in there for days and days or weeks and months.
Good.
And open the Tupperware and you're like, what do you think this was?
Yeah.
It's all freezer
What did
burn
this
and
start
pale.
as? Right.
Yeah, I mean, I did it forever, right? Because I would just crock pot stuff.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I'd be like, oh, just put the rest of the freezer. But I would never thaw it and eat it.
Right.
So then just clutter.
Holiday decorations that need to be retired. Yes. Holiday decorations that need to be retired. Wife.
That is the only thing that is super organized in my home. Like, I keep my place clean, but my Christmas decorations always go back. Same box, same exact containers.
Yes.
Yeah. Ever since my kids moved out, I'm just not that festive. I'll still eat like a champion.
Right, but you're not going to decorate the whole freaking house.
I might put up one string of lights or something like that. But for
You're
the
not
most
decking
part,
your halls with boughs of holly?
I am not.
Put up a
Donning your
tree,
gay
man.
apparel?
I think if you put up a little tree or a fake tree, even a tinsel tree like I've done before, you'll be shocked how much you like it.
Oh, I know. It's definitely very festive.
Yeah, keeps you in good spirits.
Mm-hmm.
All those condiments stashed in your kitchen.
I don't have too many of those, but I have a lot of condiments in my refrigerator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm a condiment guy. Mustards, ketchup.
Oh, absolutely.
Do you go through all of them, though? Do you finish them all?
I do.
Oh, do you really?
I use them. Yeah. Once I buy something, I'm in.
Yeah, I'm with Miles, especially mustards. Like, there's always an extra French's in my pantry and a Susie's Dijon.
Good man. Good man.
The junk drawer.
Boar's Head. Any mustard
Boar's Head,
they
yeah.
make is top notch. I will stand by Boar's Head mustards.
I think I have their stone ground in my fridge.
I know that Uli's makes a really good curry ketchup.
They make a great curry ketchup.
But down the road in Portland, there's a Portland ketchup company.
Yeah.
Their regular ketchup is maybe the best ketchup I have ever tasted in my life.
No kidding.
But what's your choice of ketchup?
Just trust me on this.
No. What is your
Thrill's
choice?
got a point.
I know
just
that.
saying.
I'm telling you, this is the best ketchup I've ever tasted.
You prefer Del Monte over Heinz. I just don't know if I can trust you on this.
Just telling you.
That's all.
Telling you.
Duplicates of tools.
Oh,
Yeah.
like two hammers.
Exactly.
Throw away one, then the other one breaks.
Exactly.
I definitely have duplicates, but we can see them upstairs or in the garage. The other ones are down in the basement.
Yeah.
You know why? Because I got tired of walking up and down the stairs.
Exactly.
Hey, Mike, what if you come over and we both just want to hammer stuff? I could be like, here, bud, here's yours.
I'd say that's a good night, Ted.
Oh, Christ. I get in trouble for that one. Why is there holes in my wall? Well, you and Mike decided you had to hammer stuff.
You both brought tool belts and started beating the crap out of my wall.
Right. You have a house that needs like a wall that you need down. Ted and Mike will come over.
You just kept chanting, "Can we fix it?"
You ever seen Bob the Builder? We're the opposite. We destroy your ass.
Right.
We just
I'm Dave the Destroyer.
Right. We just wreck it.
Ted the Terrible.
I'm gonna wreck it. Old coats and jackets. I am guilty of that one. I've got a few that honestly, it's been a few seasons since they've come out. It's time to retire them.
There's nothing wrong with a good trip to Goodwill, man.
Yes,
That's a good call.
fully agree.
Unless it's like a cool, funky jacket that you might wear again sometime.
cool, funky jacket.
Like I have a fur coat that I wear very often, but I am not getting rid of that.
I have one shirt that I force myself to wear every year, and it's that T-shirt that has the tuxedo printed on the front of it.
Yes.
My wife got that for me for one of the parties that we were supposed to have in lieu of our wedding that we had to keep on pushing. And I knew that there was never another time that I was going to wear this. So every year for the end of the year spectacular, I make it a point to put that bad boy on and bring it in here.
I've always wanted one. I've never actually bought one.
Dude, Ted, it's time for you to get fancy with me, man.
Yeah.
Oscar party this year. Let's get you that shirt.
Tuxedo shirts.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Let's go, baby. Plants that didn't survive the season. Again, these are items that you should declutter from your home right now. I got a feeling that that's mostly men that leave those there.
Dead plants, yeah, that's probably not a good look.
Yeah, get rid of them.
Yeah,
Get this
exactly.
depressing, if nothing else.
It really is.
You killed these and it's constant.
I constantly stare at this dead organism in my home.
I really like the way you decorate.
Ratty old towels and bed linens. Now,
Absolutely.
hear me out on this. The ratty old towels, I still use those as rags. I still use them as, shop towels or whatever I need. If I need a towel that I don't care about dirtying, I like having that one in the
Got a
cabinet.
whole stack of them.
Exactly.
For the dog when it rains.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, really.
100%, dude.
Yep.
Yes. Skincare products and makeup. Especially when you have 900 bottles of the stuff in the fridge and they're empty. Not the fridge, the shower. Why did I say the fridge? I'm tired.
You keep your shampoo in the fridge?
No. Damn it.
Wait a minute, Mike, but you're bald.
It's because I kept my shampoo in the fridge, Ted.
I do keep shampoo just for my beard.
Yeah, if you got hair, you still got to do something with it.
Exactly.
I just use whatever my wife uses.
Books, magazines, and DVDs that need a new home. I will say with every move, my DVD collection has gotten smaller. My book collection's gotten smaller.
I don't read books twice.
Yes.
I read them once and enjoy them, and then I'm kind of done reading them.
No, I'll read them twice, man.
Yeah, I mean,
to me, it's like watching a repeat. If you like it, do it again.
If I like the book enough, I will keep it just so that I can have that very minimal library that's like, these are my favorite books.
I also like having books around for my kid. When I grew up around a lot of books.
There you go.
And as a result, I didn't want to read anything school told me to, but I ended up becoming a voracious reader so that you understand things.
Hell yeah, dude.
So I just like the idea of the kids, every once in a while, they'll stare at the bookcase, find something interesting, pull it down, read it for 2 seconds, put it back. But baby steps.
Yeah, like if I have 12 books in my house, I've probably read 6 of them, and 6 of them are like, I'm going to get to you.
I'm getting to you.
Unused kitchen gadgets and cookware.
Yeah, definitely gotten rid of those.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, the older I get, the less gimmicky I need stuff.
Do you still have that with the pressure cooker?
Oh, I do. It's in a box.
It's the pot.
It's never been opened, and I just got rid of my toaster.
Did you?
Yep. I'm really, because I realized I don't use this.
The toaster?
Never.
Yeah, regular toaster's tough. I mean, my toaster oven's in my pantry now. I can get rid of it.
But you have the air fryer.
I know.
Which kind of takes the place of a toaster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still use my toaster.
But we just met someone.
I just, honestly, I'm so old. Like, my toaster oven, I use it to cook stuff in. If I'm going to make toast, I just turn the oven on 350 and toast it in the oven.
Right.
My wife puts everything in a toaster oven now. Or the air fryer.
All right.
Air fryers.
Because I'll go to do something. Why are you putting it in the oven?
I use that more than anything.
I'm like, well, we have an oven. Like, put it in the air fryer.
And then the number one item that you should declutter from your home right now, I feel like everybody's got this somewhere in their closet. Clothes and shoes that don't fit anymore or are old and beat up.
Yes.
I've gotten rid of most of my beat up stuff. My weight has not changed in like 500 years, so everything still fits. It's just whether or not I want to wear it anymore.
Right.
So we have a Goodwill trip coming up. I know this because my wife told me yesterday, but we have a Goodwill trip coming up.
Once every year and a half, when my wife starts building up her own little clean out box as well,
right.
I immediately just go to the bottom of every drawer in my dresser.
That's a good call.
Everything just kind of gets shoved down there, and I don't want to see it anymore. Like, okay, enough time.
And you keep rotating the same clothes you like.
Right. Nobody's going to ask about this damn thing. Just get rid of it. It's time for you to go. You're done. A man in Georgia got fed up with a wedding venue next door, and you will never believe what he did.
What did he do?
I will tell you all about it at 5:50.
Thank you, sir. Headlines are coming up at 5:50. In the meantime, let's get a contestant on the line for Profile This at 206-803-ROCK.
I'm Snoop Dogg, and I'm giving up smoke. I know what you're thinking. Snoop, smoke is kind of your whole thing. But I'm done with it. I'm done with the coughing and my clothes smelling all funky. I'm going smokeless. Solo stove, fix 5. They took out the smoke. Now you can have a nice blaze without any clouds ruining your day. Go smokeless. Go to solostove.com. Tell them Big Snoop Dogg sent you.
Have you or a loved one been injured in an accident? Are you struggling to recover fair compensation? Look no further. At Phillips Law Firm, the experienced personal injury attorneys will fight for your rights and get you the justice and compensation you deserve. They handle a wide range of cases, including car accidents, slip and falls, medical malpractice, and workplace injuries. Justice is a phone call away, so don't wait. Call today for a free case review. Call 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com. Lovers, your local lingerie and adult store has gifts of pleasure for partners who know it's nice to be naughty. Turn up the heat this holiday when you shop at any Lovers store. Let our knowledgeable team help you select the best pleasure presents and save 20% on your purchase with Lovers Afterglow rewards. Just mention Love 20 at one of our 18 Western Washington locations. Offer valid with free Lovers Afterglow rewards membership until December 31st. Some exclusions apply.
Deep underground the Jelly Belly factory, Bibi is in her secret laboratory creating the weird and wild flavors of Bean Boozled.
I've done it again!
Is it pomegranate or old bandage? Dare to compare. Bean Boozled, 6th edition. Are you brave enough?
I'm Snoop Dogg, and I'm giving up smoke. I know what you're thinking. Snoop, smoke is kind of your whole thing. But I'm done with it. I'm done with the coughing and my clothes smelling all funky. I'm going smokeless. Solo stove, fix 5. They took out the smoke. Now you can have a nice blaze without any clouds ruining your day. Go smokeless. Go to solostove.com. Tell them Big Snoop Dogg sent you.
Have you been in an accident that wasn't your fault? Feeling overwhelmed and unsure what to do next? Look no further. The personal injury attorneys at Phillips Law Firm are here to help. Phillips Law Firm understands that accidents can turn your life upside down. That's why they're dedicated to fighting for the compensation you deserve and to making the process as stress-free as possible. Don't wait any longer. Call now, 1-800-JUSTICE, or visit justiceforyou.com.
Hey, it's Mike Hawk. Want more Men's Room content? Follow the Men's Room page of the Odyssey app and check out my live stream, A Moment with Mike Hawk and Nothing in Particular with Steve the Thrill Hill. Going live Thursdays and Fridays at 1 exclusively on the Men's Room page of the Odyssey app.
Have we made it to drinking time?
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the Men's Room knows just who it is. So to you we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Drink time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Steve Thrill Hill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed. And today we toast Mr. Kevin Gray of somewhere in Maine. Mike, you might have the story too. I don't know. But in this case, look, this guy is getting arrested all the time. In fact, he was arrested recently. It's his 12th arrest of 2023. That averages to just more than one a month. And in this case, he was busted on outstanding warrants. He was busted for possession of drugs. And he was busted for shoplifting from TJ Maxx. But it's how he got caught that tells you why he's been arrested so many times. He is stupid. So last Friday, he ordered a rideshare to TJ Maxx. And when he got into the car, he blabbed to the driver about how he was planning to shoplift from TJ Maxx. But he wasn't done. Then he started bragging to the driver about how many warrants he had out for his arrest. Then he still wasn't done. He showed the driver all of the drugs that he had on him. This is just during the rideshare. So the driver dropped Kevin off at the TJ Maxx and immediately called the police, who showed up, found Kevin, and arrested him for all those offenses.
Well, now you know.
Don't sit in a rideshare and share that stuff, man. See all the drugs I got? Cops have been looking for me, dude. Oh, and I plan on committing a crime tonight. Thanks for the ride. I'm sure the Uber driver got 1 star on that. Either way.
Also, it's TJ Maxx.
Right.
They're not really charging that much. That's why people shop there.
Give me all $4 in the till.
They got great stuff in there, though. You can find some
Oh, yeah.
But on the cheap.
I bought like an Eddie Bauer comforter there once.
Ooh, I didn't hear anything. So we pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy.
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies.
Down the hola bichola.
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
And Steve Thrill Hill, could you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story. Something that happened right here on planet Earth. Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, Katie. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola!
All right, Katie, you understand how this here game is played?
I do.
Fantastic. You have a choice of 1 of 3 stories. Today we offer you Bite Me. In other words, what did someone find in their food? We have Animalize This, where you guess the animal responsible for causing the problem. And finally, Interior Decorating, where you guess the foreign object that ended up on the inside of someone.
Oh, I'm going to go interior decorating.
And the song is accurate. A man went to the emergency room complaining of abdominal pain. And if you're familiar with this category, then you already know that abdominal pain translates to, hey, doc, I put something in my rectum and I can't get it out. Now, unfortunately, that's not what the patient said, but after doctors performed an x-ray and discovered an object lodged in his anus, the patient finally came clean. He explained that he had inserted this type of object before, and as was the case this time, said object also became trapped in his rectum. And he swore he'd never do it again. Not inserting objects in his backside, but rather, since his initial incident, he now tied string to said objects and had successfully removed them 4 times since then. So, right, sharing this with the doctor. Now, he applied the same technique this time, but as he stated, and I quote, This time I put a string around it, but when I pulled the string, there was nothing on the other end. That's an actual
Starting
quote.
a lawnmower.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Now, fortunately for the patient, doctors were able to successfully remove the object during surgery, limiting damage to his colon. Now, the question is, what was the object that was removed from his butt? Was it a wedding ring, a Pepsi bottle, a flashlight, or a G.I. Joe action figure? So wedding ring, Pepsi bottle, flashlight, or G.I. Joe action figure, one of these four things was trapped in his backside. I just like the fact that he does it repeatedly, and normally...
What was the last one?
G.I. Joe action figure.
Oh, no, I got G.I. Joe.
So you got a wedding ring?
Yep.
Pepsi bottle?
Soda bottle, G.I. Joe.
A flashlight.
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 I know.
I work in the medical field.
Oh, do you?
So I do. I mean, currently medical assistant, but I've done medical for as long as I've worked.
Do you ever hear dumb stories like this in person, like doctors and nurses going, hey, somebody has this thing stuck in their butt?
I was going to say, without outing myself too much, I work in an occupational clinic, so I've heard some really interesting things.
I bet you have.
Yeah. I think, Katie, I'm going to go with a flashlight.
Flashlight.
You know, but it's kind of hard to get a string around a flashlight. Like, some part of me wants to say a Pepsi bottle.
Pepsi bottle.
Did you say how old the dude was?
I don't have that information.
Good question.
Well, yeah, because, I mean, if he's like my age, he would have a collection of the small G.I. Joes that could easily be inserted.
If he's my age, he's got those 12 inches.
Yeah, right, that's
with
different.
With a fuzzy head.
Yeah.
Without getting too graphic, though, I could understand the Pepsi, not personally, but I could understand the Pepsi bottle thing. So that's kind of where that's kind of where I'm leaning.
Okay.
Pepsi bottle?
Yeah,
All right, Katie.
I mean, you shouldn't really put anything up there that doesn't belong there.
That's a PSA from Ted, kids.
Yeah, well, knowing's half the battle.
I'm McGruff.
G.I. Joe.
G.I. Joe.
Give me G.I. Joe.
All right.
You think it's Flint?
What was stuck up there? Was it a wedding ring, a Pepsi bottle, a flashlight, or a G.I. Joe action figure? We'll find out next.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
That was a tease.
I'm Snoop Dogg, and I'm giving up smoke. I know what you're thinking. Snoop, smoke is kind of your whole thing. But I'm done with it. I'm done with the coughing and my clothes smelling all funky. I'm going smokeless. Solo stove, fix 5. They took out the smoke. Now you can have a nice blaze without any clouds ruining your day. Go smokeless. Go to solostove.com. Tell them Big Snoop Dogg sent you.
Dealing with an accident and injury claim can be overwhelming. Let Phillips Law Firm fight for you. We understand the pain and suffering, and we're here to guide you through. Call 1-800-JUSTICE today for a free case review, or visit justiceforyou.com and let Phillips Law Firm help you on the road to recovery.
Lovers, your local lingerie and adult store has gifts of pleasure for partners who know it's nice to be naughty. Turn up the heat this holiday when you shop at any Lovers store. Let our knowledgeable team help you select the best pleasure presents and save 20% on your purchase with Lovers Afterglow rewards. Just mention Love 20 at one of our 18 Western Washington locations. Offer valid with free Lovers Afterglow rewards membership until December 31st. Some exclusions apply.
99.9 KISW. We return to the men's room with Miles and Thrill.
Category is interior decorating on profile. This man went to the ER after inserting something in his backside. He'd been doing it for a long time. Finally figured out tie a string on it.
Ties in 4 times. He did it successfully.
He pulled the string out, but nothing was there this time, so he had to go in and get that removed. The question is, what did he insert? Was it a wedding ring, a Pepsi bottle, a flashlight, or a G.I. Joe action figure?
And Katie, that is the very question we posed to you. And as you pointed out, you work in the medical industry and have heard similar odd and creepy tales in your years doing it. But let us start with Miles Montgomery. You went with the flashlight.
I went flashlight.
Sorry, it was not a flashlight.
Oh.
D. Ted Smith, you went with the G.I. Joe action figure.
Correct.
No.
Nope. And then Katie, you went with the Pepsi bottle, even saying, not that you condone it, but on some level you can understand why one might insert a Pepsi bottle into the rectum. I also noticed you did not point out like Coke or 7-Up or anything like
that.
Just Pepsi. Just Pepsi. Katie says Pepsi bottles makes complete sense. And you should trust her that you're correct.
That's why I drink Coke.
Taste of a new generation.
Don't recycle that bottle.
I believe he's done it a couple times.
Yeah, he said first time he did it, he got stuck, right? And then doctors had to get it out that time. And then, as you pointed out, I've done it 4 times successfully since then. He would put it in the bottle, the string, put the cap on tight.
Oh.
Right? That was his whole theory. And then this last time that he did it, of course, he pulled out just the string. But I like that he went to the doctor saying, I have abdominal pain. I think in that situation, you go in and you say, Doc, there's a Pepsi bottle in my ass.
Yeah,
and I'm in pain.
Go to a sex shop. They make toys you can put up there.
Right. That's all.
Now for all TV news all the time, it is time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, the Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
Yes. Sorry about that, Mike. All right, your choices today. Writers. Seth Meyers.
Okay.
The Jimmies.
Kimmel and Fallon.
Or Ted Smith.
Is it Ted or is it late night?
It is right there in the title. All these guys have talented teams of writers that come up with their monologues each and every night. It is up to you to determine, is this an actual late night joke and from whom, or could it be a The Ted Smith original?
Let's see. Kahlua and Absolute Vodka teamed up to produce a $100 fragrance that smells like an espresso martini. It's the number 1 scent not to wear in a job interview.
Fallon. Writers.
Fallon.
Kahlua and Absolute Vodka teamed up to create a $100 fragrance that smells like an espresso martini. Yeah, it's already being called the number 1 scent to not wear on a job interview.
Those things are delicious.
Oh, yeah.
Espresso martinis.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
But they're kind of like mojitos. Somebody orders one, everything. Man, it sounds good. I'll have one. According to a new study, daily marijuana use can increase the risk of a heart attack, and that's why I only smoke at night.
Ted Smith.
Seth Meyers.
Damn it.
What was it? One more time.
Weed jokes.
According to a new study, daily marijuana use can increase the risk of a heart attack, and that's why I only smoke it nightly.
Tonight, People Magazine will announce the Sexiest Man of the Year award. And if you like a long shot while betting, I say put your money on Clint Howard.
Ted Smith.
Yes, thank you.
That is me. Sorry, Clint.
He knows.
Nike is suing New Balance and Skechers for allegedly stealing their shoe making technology. New Balance said the allegations are not true, while Skechers was just happy Nike knows who they are. Fallon. Yeah, it's Fallon.
Nike is suing New Balance and Skechers for allegedly stealing their shoemaking technology. Ooh. New Balance said the allegations are untrue, while Skechers said, wow, Nike knows who we are.
Amid reports that Prince Harry declined an invitation to attend King Charles' 75th birthday party, a spokesperson for Prince Harry said he never got the invitation. Or more likely, Meghan got the mail that day.
I'm going to say writers.
I'll say you. Seth Meyers.
Amid reports that he has declined an invitation to attend King Charles' 75th birthday party, a spokesperson for Prince Harry said that he never received an invite. Or more likely, Meghan got the mail that day.
I don't know that that's worked out great for my boy Prince Harry. Like leaving England and everything. And I guess but I think like Meghan already had her podcast like not renewed. I don't know if you can get canceled on a podcast. Like, you know what I mean? Shows get canceled.
She bowed out, didn't she?
Or did she? Yeah.
If I remember right, because whoever the podcast operator, whatever the hell you call that, like they were pissed off at her. They'd given her all this money, and then she's like, I don't think this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah, I don't think most people know what they're doing in that realm. It's tough.
No.
Yeah. Like, we'll just do it. Just turn on the mics and BS. It's like, yeah. You know, some of the podcasts I'll listen to, right? Like for instance, like the Kelsey brothers. Theirs is good, but they're also both professional football players. So there's something kind of more to it or whatever.
Right.
Have you, I can't think of her name. You seen that woman that just talks like monotone and it's like she doesn't know anything?
No, what's her pitch?
That's her whole shtick.
Oh,
she's just kind of monotoned and annoying. Mike, you know what I'm talking about, right? I don't know. Small little blonde woman. God, it drives me up a wall. Seriously, I don't get the humor in it. Maybe I'm too old because I think she's in her 20s. I'm just like, I don't get it. Let's see. So the People magazine Sexiest Man was alive, was awarded last night, and it's Patrick Dempsey. Well, he's good looking.
He is. We're not disputing, but typically,
nothing against the man.
Right, good looking guy. Just typically, you're doing something kind of current or have done something within the last year.
He just did a movie.
Did he?
Is he in that Thanksgiving movie, that horror movie?
Called Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, the picture I saw of him said he was at the premiere for this movie, and I never heard of the movie, so I'm just assuming that's
he's probably
what he's doing now.
He was on Kimmel last night, though, and you can hear his reaction.
Please welcome People's Sexiest Man Alive, Mr. Patrick Dempsey. Wow, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
What took them so long is the only question I have.
Don't know. I'm just happy they made a decision, and that was me this year. I'm very grateful.
Finally made the right decision.
Never give up on a dream.
How did your family react to the dream?
They laughed quite
They
hard.
did?
I mean, he is good looking. Seems like a personable enough guy, and he was a star for years. I don't know why. It seems like sometimes they hand him out later. So, like the other people also featured in there. He's Patrick's 57, by the way. And the Sexiest Man Alive issue is Pedro Pascal, obviously.
Yep.
Timothy Chalamet.
Timothy Chalamet.
Usher, which I think you can put Usher in there any year. Jamie Foxx.
Okay.
Jason Kelsey, not Travis.
Interesting.
I think Jason got in there more because he's like, well, number one, like, look, I think Jason and his wife are both very attractive, all right? And but I think he's kind of like that sexiest man where it's like he does a manly thing. He plays football. He's football center.
And he's just a big dude, a big mustache and beard.
But he's a family guy, hangs out with his kids and stuff. So I think a lot of women find that attractive as well. Yeah. I don't know.
So the way that they were saying that it's finally happened, did Dempsey not get his entire run through Grey's Anatomy?
No. That's why I think they're kind of joking.
So that makes a little bit more sense.
Lenny Kravitz also featured in this episode.
He should be.
But does he have new music coming out?
I don't
he's
know.
He's just Lenny Kravitz. He's got washboard abs. You know.
If you want to turn girls off from Lenny Kravitz, you can feature a picture of him, but make it scratch and sniff.
All right, so I think
I'm telling you right
but
now.
my point is that, like, I don't know what he's up to. So I think Dempsey's the same thing. It's like, maybe we should have given these guys the awards years ago. But, hey, here they are now.
Have they ever done, like, a posthumous one? I mean, would that be
It's called Sexiest Man Alive.
Sexiest Man Alive.
So,
Yeah,
like,
I don't think so.
Right there in the name.
But, like, posthumous, you know?
I think you could add...
We were going to give it to him, and then he died. Like, look, the issue already went to print. We'd already put it up on the website, and then he died.
That would have to be an extreme case.
You can't, like, pull back and be like, oh, it's not Patrick Dempsey. He was in a car accident or bad. Like, you got to leave it up there, right?
I don't know. The only person I can think of that might have been there at that point, because everybody was shocked when he passed away, was Heath Ledger.
Right.
Okay.
Right, yeah.
Let's see. So last night, I've talked about this show before. If you watch Vice Channel, or Vice Network, they have the Dark Side of the Ring. Mm-hmm. Now there's Dark Side of the 2000s, but Dark Side of Comedy is pretty good. I watched the one on Robin Williams, and a lot of people, I didn't even realize this. Like when he ends up committing suicide, he had, I forget what he had, but he had a disease where he was very sick and his brain was kind of turning against him.
Oh, wow.
And he wasn't the same guy. So, a lot of his friends, when I watched that episode, were like, we were pretty pissed the way people were just like, oh, he's been depressed and he's, maybe he's using again. It's like, no. There was something wrong with him.
Right.
And basically, whatever he had at a certain point,
there was nothing you could do.
Right. And I don't know what the term is. I'm not going to use the one we used to use, but his body would have been there, but mentally, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He would have been kind of stuck in his body. Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. Let's just say the point of the show is it's very good. So last night there was one on Carlos Mencia. And I was like, I kind of know the Carlos Mencia story, but I'll watch it. And also Carlos Mencia, some of the Dark Side of Comedy, where they're going to, Robin Williams. We know how that's going to end.
We know.
Right? Sam Kinison. Some of these you kind of go, all right.
So I will say this about that guy, though. I know some of the stuff he did, but when he came on our show, he seemed like a pretty decent guy.
All right, so I watched the whole episode. It's very tough because from the beginning, people are talking about I worked with him. He would take some jokes. Now, they also make a point of saying it's stand-up comedy. This isn't unheard of. There's a lot of versions of jokes that everybody can kind of say the same way.
Sure.
To Carlos's credit, he can deliver. He helped a lot of young comedians out. He's one of the first Latinos to kind of go on tour, and he brought guys with him. He had a tour. Who was the old guy we see interviewing about? Pablo Francisco was on it.
Oh, God. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So he did a lot of good. But then also, he got so famous there for a while, and people were like, dude, like, I opened for you. Like, that is my joke. So it's interesting, because then it all kind of comes to a head. The other thing he used to do is, what's it, the Comedy Store? That's the famous one. Pauly Shore's mom. So, right, his name is Ned, right? That kind of came out. And Conan asked him, O'Brien asked him about it on the show. He's like, look, my name was Ned. It's kind of a sad story. When his he was born in Venezuela, I want to say, but his mother, her brother was moving to L.A. The brother, for some reason, I guess, was sterile. Like, he couldn't have children.
Okay.
And she was like, I'll move with you. I already have 4 kids. You take this youngest one. So then he's brought up in East L.A. That guy marries a Mexican woman. So basically, he grows up in the Mexican culture, right?
Yeah.
And he's already, he's Latino. So and then Pauly Shore's mother, who ran that club, is like, you can't be Ned Mencia.
Right.
And he's like, I got an opener named Carlos. And she's like, go with that. So, like, that one's kind of a lie, but, like, when he explains it, you're like, all right, that's not that bad.
Sure.
But then, right, it all comes to a head later at the comedy, because you can bump lesser comedians, but he would do it for, like, 90 minutes. So people are pissed at him. Other comedians who aren't as big are like, he's using my jokes. And then Joe Rogan calls him out on stage. It's a massive deal. But Mencia at this point isn't smart. Nah, I shouldn't say that. He just isn't aware of how good the internet is and how that's going to work.
Right.
So Rogan, obviously, that video goes viral. We all saw it. Everybody saw it. Everybody's saying, and it basically kills his career.
Yeah.
Now, the other side of that is all these people are like, yeah. And he's like, oh, I never stole any jokes. Like, that's BS. So you're kind of caught in between. Like, you kind of feel bad for him. He's come out and said, hey, I did bump people and went way too long. I was kind of an a-hole. I shouldn't have done that.
No.
But he's never come out once and just said, all right, look, I stole some of the jokes. I kind of twisted them to make them mine. But like, even his good friends in that, they're like, number one, like, Carlos kind of needs a little closure for himself. But they're like, until he does that, like, the comedy community isn't going to welcome him back in.
Right. Now, in the format of the show, do they actually interview and talk to him about these times?
He's on there.
So he's sitting down and he's addressing all this stuff, and he's still not going to come out and say he stole the jokes.
Correct. He's still pretty defiant about it. So I think that's kind of the sticking point. And his friends are like,
yeah, I can see that.
But also, I don't know, because other comedians have done this. So that's his friends are like, and other people in the industry are like, I don't know that he should be totally banished for this long. Look, there's comedians that commit awful crimes, right? Sexual assault, manslaughter, this and that. They get welcomed back in. So you're like, you can hear it in my voice. I was kind of caught in between. I'm like, Carlos, I wish you would kind of admit to it, but also, like, I don't think this guy should be blackballed from the business forever.
But sometimes it's worse when you're the first.
Correct.
Right? Because you're never, if you're second or below, you're never as bad as the person who kind of kicked down the wall to say that this thing happened.
He didn't do the best job of apologizing, but Louis C.K. is back.
Right.
He admitted it, but he didn't apologize.
Correct. So that's what I'm saying. I think it would be good for Carlos to just be like, hey, look, all right, I stole a few of those jokes. Or there's a way to, because I don't know that his mind, you know how it is. Some people like kind of lie. You convince yourself, but it's still a lie. If he just even came out and said, look, I took them, I kind of made them my jokes. This is the way it go. And some of the jokes they're arguing about have been told for years. The main was a Cosby joke that he would tell word for word. And people are like, here's the evidence.
Yeah. Okay. That's just the mind of Mencia.
Hey-oh. Hey, you got me on that one. Let's go on a high note.
Thank you, Tim. We appreciate it. You're listening to The Men's Room.
Selling a little or a lot? Shopify helps you do your thing, however you cha-ching. Shopify is the global commerce platform that helps you sell at every stage of your business. From the launch your online shop stage, to the first real-life store stage, all the way to the did we just hit 1 million orders stage. Shopify's here to help you grow. Whether you're selling scented soap or offering outdoor outfits, Shopify helps you sell everywhere. From their all-in-one e-commerce platform to their in-person POS system, wherever and whatever you're selling, Shopify's got got you covered. Shopify helps you turn browsers into buyers with the internet's best converting checkout. 15% better on average compared to other leading commerce platforms. And sell more with less effort thanks to Shopify Magic, your AI-powered all-star. Shopify powers 10% of all e-commerce in the U.S. And Shopify is the global force behind Allbirds, Rothy's, and Brooklinen, and millions of other entrepreneurs of every size across 175 countries. Plus, Shopify's award-winning 24/7 help is there to support your success every step of the way. Because businesses that grow, grow with Shopify. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/Odyssey Podcast, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Odyssey Podcast now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/Odyssey Podcast.
We all know cats are intelligent. Felix Cat Insurance was able to secretly record 2 cats on a hidden microphone. Let's listen in.
Did you hear the one about the 3 dogs at the park?
That's old, like 4 lives ago. But did you hear about the new pet insurance just for cats from FelixCatInsurance.com?
Of course. What do I look like, a dog?
When you're coughing up a fur ball. Yes. Listen, Felix Cat Insurance plans start at under $1 per day and are as unique as you and me. They call it whisker to tail protection.
Even fur balls?
Even that. Remember the last time you had a fur ball? I made a TikTok. It went viral.
Oh, well, that's good. Wait, you're on social media?
There you have it. Felix Cat Insurance. Customizable coverage exclusively for felines. Sorry, no dogs allowed. FelixCatInsurance.com. Get it? Meow. Insurance is underwritten by Independence American Insurance Company and produced by Independence Pet Group. Pre-existing conditions are not covered. For all terms and limitations, visit FelixCatInsurance.com/terms.
Getting older means a world of change, but some things still stay the same, like being at risk for type 1 diabetes, because type 1 can happen at any age. So screen it like you mean it. If just one person in your family has type 1, you're up to 15 times more likely to get it too. And 50% of type 1 diagnoses happen after the age of 18. So screen it like you mean it. Type 1 diabetes starts long before you need insulin, and one blood test could help you spot it early and lower the risk of serious complications like diabetic ketoacidosis, known as DKA. So don't get caught by surprise. Screen it like you mean it, because getting answers now can help you get prepared. The more you know, the more you can do. So don't wait. Talk to a doctor about how to get screened. Tap now or visit screenfortype1.com to learn more. Again, that's screenfortype1.com, and screen it like you mean it.
The Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. A pizza delivery man shows up at a home with 2 models, exposing their bacon hangers. Meanwhile, a man in Maine is arrested for the 12th time this year in downtown Bangor. College tuba player knocks out a rowdy fan in the stands. Man goes to buy a truck, but that's when a deer jumps and lands. And a Georgia man shoots a mortar at a helicopter. It is time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's Mike Hawk.
All right, our top story. We go to Georgia, where a man is fed up. Just done. He lives across the street from a wedding venue and is rather upset with his living conditions. He's got a noted history of making threats toward the venue, and it eventually took the next step during a couple's big day. The moment was a bold one as a helicopter lifted the happy couple up and out of the venue, off into their new life together. But was cut rather short when the neighbor loaded up a mortar firework and launched it at the aircraft.
Good Lord, man.
A nearby officer heard the explosion and moved in to investigate, which is where he found our man and took him into custody. Also, can we just go side note? You had a doggone helicopter take you out of your wedding?
Yeah.
Where was this at?
This was in
Georgia.
Yeah?
I would have guessed Texas, but it doesn't shock me in Georgia.
That they would have a helicopter take them off, and that the guy's launching a firework at him.
I think both.
Both.
Yeah.
And both of those things somehow.
We're under fire!
Nah, it's just Doug.
Right, I mean, like, Georgia's one of those states where there's, like, Atlanta, and then there's, like, Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I will say, though, as disappointed as that couple's going to be that their wedding day was honestly ruined by this guy.
Yeah, sort of.
You still get to talk about the fact that you came under fire at your own wedding.
I mean, look, inevitably, you have the greatest story ever.
You really do.
You do. Like, that's hard to top, man.
We lifted off in a helicopter, but that's not the coolest part. Guy launched a duck.
firework at us.
Yeah, you can't top that.
No. In other news, we take to the lovely world of the internet where we found the current title holder of Luckiest Pizza Man Alive. In a recent Instagram post, a model from Ukraine posted photos of her latest encounter with said delivery man, along with an equally attractive friend of hers. The pair of them answered the door in nothing but underpants and cardigans and told the man that it was indeed a special delivery.
It was a special delivery.
A few photos were taken during the delivery that took just a little bit. They look just a little bit staged, but honestly, nobody really cares about it.
It doesn't matter. I get to see it.
Ted, did you see these photos?
Yes.
I think we all clicked on the story for the same reason.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You gotta see this.
My goodness, this is just for research.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's staged, but I wouldn't care. I'm glad the photos are out there.
Damn right.
That is exactly it.
You're damn right, and everybody said the same thing.
Did you already say that? Miles and I were trying to figure out. Well, where was it in England?
I don't know.
All right,
They
'cause we
look
read through
English, right? Yeah.
Well, they're like, were they remote? I can't say the name. But like, it was in the Sun, so I'm assuming it's England. I don't know. Point is, Domino's is everywhere.
Domino's is everywhere. That's right. And it was a Domino's delivery guy. Or at least it was a Domino's box. It could have been a stage delivery driver, too. You never know. But
maybe Domino's thought this up to get people to start delivering pizzas.
Yeah, like, come work for Domino's.
Can you just take a few photos of one of our boxes? we need to get some delivery drivers.
That'll do it.
You're damn right.
The best recruitment tool you've got.
Oh man, down to Texas where a player in the band has gone viral.
Oh yeah.
A video of the incident was put up onto X, formerly Twitter, and features a tuba player belting it out with the band as the game rolls on down on the field. But also in the frame is a member of the audience yelling something unintelligible, specifically at the tuba player. Wait, I don't know what he's saying.
You can't hear it in the video, but
Right.
he is right in this guy's face.
He is, man.
And they're trying to perform.
Right. They're literally just playing. I don't know if it's halftime. I don't know if a touchdown's just happened, but they are actively performing at this point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Undeterred and tired of the tongue lashing, the tuba player unleashes a flurry of single hand punches to the face of the random man, sending him falling into the stands, and the band played on without missing a beat.
That's what I liked about it, man. He probably dropped, 4 good punches on this guy.
Oh, yeah.
Guy goes tumbling over the seats, and I mean, my man turned back around and just went back to the sousaphone.
You bet, man. Absolutely. You lit it up. Men's Room Sports. We got a slew of sports for you on here tonight. We got some college football over on ESPNU and ESPN2. We got some MLS soccer playoffs continuing. Philly and New England Game 2. That's over on FS1. You got some NHL hockey on tonight over on TNT. You've also got some basketball on ESPN, as well as the Portland Trailblazers are taking on Sacramento, and that is over on Root Sports there. And that is it for your news and your headlines. And with that, Mike Hawk is out.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. We'll see you next time for the return of Big Dummy. The head chef is back with Ted's Meat and Potatoes. The lovely Taryn Daly is up next.
Yes, indeed, it's all true, but in the meantime, well, we be all about this bitch for 180 seconds or so. So until then, please, do what you do best. And for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network.
Oh, man!
A Double Flush production.
I'm Snoop Dogg, and I'm giving up smoke. I know what you're thinking. Snoop, smoke is kind of your whole thing. But I'm done with it. I'm done with the coughing and my clothes smelling all funky. I'm going smokeless. Solo stove, fix 5. They took out the smoke. Now you can have a nice blaze without any clouds ruining your day. Go smokeless. Go to solostove.com. Tell them Big Snoop Dogg sent you.
Have you been in an accident that wasn't your fault? Feeling overwhelmed and unsure what to do next? Look no further. The personal injury attorneys at Phillips Law Firm are here to help. Phillips Law Firm understands that accidents can turn your life upside down. That's why they're dedicated to fighting for the compensation you deserve and to making the process as stress-free as possible. Don't wait any longer. Call now, 1-800-JUSTICE, or visit justiceforyou.com.
Lovers, your local lingerie and adult store has gifts of pleasure for partners who know it's nice to be naughty. Turn up the heat this holiday when you shop at any Lovers store. Let our knowledgeable team help you select the best pleasure presents and save 20% on your purchase with Lovers Afterglow rewards. Just mention Love 20 at one of our 18 Western Washington locations. Offer valid with free Lovers Afterglow rewards membership until December 31st. Some exclusions apply.
If you're a business owner, you know these sounds mean sales. And from the sound of it, your business is growing. Whether you're fulfilling orders from your home office or warehouse, Stamps.com helps you stress less about mailing and shipping and spend more time doing what you love most. Listening to ASMR. I mean, growing your business. But as you grow, so does the need for efficiency. Stamps.com simplifies your shipping and mailing process. Import orders from wherever you sell online. Find the lowest rates with the fastest delivery times. Instantly deliver tracking updates to your customers. And buy shipping and mailing supplies when you run low. Save time and money on mailing and shipping. Get started at Stamps.com today with code PROGRAM for a 4-week trial, free postage, and a digital scale.